Welcome to Championship Saturday at the Division II Baseball Championship in Cary, North Carolina. We've spent an entire week covering 13 games and eliminating 6 teams to get to this national championship showdown between the 8-time champs, the Tampa Spartans, and the defending champs, the Angelo State Rams. Angelo State needing 2 wins today to take the crown, while Tampa can win it all with 1 victory. I'm Joe Castellano, along with Brendan Gulick. Great to have you with us. Tampa trying to record a 9th title that would tie them for the most ever. And it's a great day for baseball, Brendan. They are ready to go. Angelo State, they're going to have to really play well in that first game and then be ready to take a second.
Man, it should be so much fun, and can't wait to get this thing started. We're talking about a Tampa team that has never trailed all week. They have looked the part of a team that's trying to win a national championship. It's been a dominant effort. And you've got an Angelo State team that right now, Joe, believes as much as they've ever believed, because they've had some adversity along the way this year and had to grind their way back to this title game. And I'm sure that the Rams believe they can get this done.
This is how they got there. Tampa running through at 3-0. On Sunday, they beat Indianapolis. On Tuesday, they beat Southern New Hampshire. And then on Thursday, they beat Catawba. Angelo State, they had to play an extra game. They're 3-1 here as they try to defend their title. And to beat Tampa 2 times in a row, that's going to be tough because they haven't lost 2 in a row all year.
Yeah, Tampa's, look, I mean, this program right now is riding pretty high. I would say even though they're not the defending champs, they're probably the favorite coming in. 51-8 on the year. They're at the 50-win mark for the 4th time in program history, first since 2014. And right at the top of their order, E.J. Cumbo, the all-time leader in Division II in career hits. He sets the table for them. They've got power all over the place. One of the most powerful teams that Coach Urso has had in a while. They've put that on display here this week. It's going to be a tough group.
Yeah, Joe Urso, he's won 5 of the 8 titles as the head coach at Tampa, over 1,000 wins in his career. Angelo State, by the way, to get here, they won on Saturday in 11 innings over the number 1 seed, Central Missouri. They're here as the number 8 seed. Then on Monday, they beat Point Loma. That was a 13-6 win. Then they lost to IUP on Thursday, 10-8. That set up another game yesterday, and they won it 7-3 over IUP, and eliminating that team. And here we go with the starting pitcher, Caleb Schertz, taking his warm-up tosses. The senior right-hander is 2-1 with a 1.76 ERA. He worked 7 1/3 scoreless innings with only 3 hits allowed in relief in his only appearance here on Saturday against Central Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, this is the game of his life. You're pitching in a national championship game. This is what you dream about as a kid. And if you're Angelo State, unfortunately, maybe the one bugaboo you've dealt with this week, starting pitching has not been good. And Schertz bailed out Dax Dothy in that first game and gave Angelo State a chance to win. Give credit to Kevin Brooks for having the right feel for the moment and pulling his starters, not once, not twice, but 3 times before things got out of hand. And that's a big reason why Angelo State was able to, scratch and claw their way back into those games, and they've made it here.
Schertz, he threw 110 pitches in that outing against Central Missouri, and it's fortunate that he's available here, and he has enough rest because he pitched Saturday. They didn't have to use him in those games prior to this, and that was a big key.
They've certainly made it work in their bullpen. Angelo State, by winning on Saturday and Monday, they had the benefit of being on the left side of the bracket the way this was put together. And so they got Tuesday and Wednesday off. But then they obviously played Thursday and lost, and then yesterday won. So this is the 3rd straight day they've played. So their bullpen theoretically fairly well rested. Tampa on the other side, they're Friday, Saturday guys all year long. Alex Caney going to throw today, and I would imagine if Game 2 is necessary, you'd get the National Pitcher of the Year in Skylar Gonzalez.
84 degrees at game time, just a gorgeous afternoon as E.J. Cumbo steps in to lead off Championship Saturday. Hitting at .420, 17 homers, 72 RBIs, up against Schertz, making just his 2nd start of the year. First pitch to Cumbo, bunts after it and misses for a strike, 0-1.
If E.J. Cumbo comes up with a base hit here, it would be number 400 in his career. He'd be just the 3rd guy in NCAA baseball history, all divisions, to have 400 hits.
That's a 58-footer, 1-1, and he has had a hit in his first at-bat in each game so far. 8 for 15 in Cary, and he's launched 3 home runs and had 6 RBIs from the leadoff spot. Outfield plays him straight away. Hurts towing the third base side of the rubber and deals. In the dirt again, 2-1. Yeah, he would join Phil Stevenson, who had 418 hits for Division I Wichita State back in 79 to 82, and Khalil Green, who had 403 hits for Clemson back in 1999 through 02. But he's the all-time Division II hits leader. Takes a strike, 2-2.
Yeah, he did that in style. Came up with a home run to come up with that 367th hit in his home ballpark. Pretty amazing moment in a win over St. Leo's just a couple of weeks back here.
2 balls, 2 strikes the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the first time that Cumbo doesn't get on with a hit to start out the game for Tampa. As Hurts, who had 10 strikeouts in the first game, K's his first batter.
You can see that subtle fist pump, too, from Caleb after spiking a couple. Hopefully that helps him settle in against a guy who's just really tough to get out in general, let alone strike out.
Here's Anthony Nunez, a switch hitter, batting left, hitting .245, 8 homers, and 38 RBIs. And a guy who is very patient at the plate. 54 walks, third in the nation. Hurts will throw his fastball up to 90 miles an hour. His curveball is his best pitch. 1-0 to Nunez in the dirt. Just spiked it down there. He's done that a few times already. 2-0. He'll also throw a cutter and a changeup. Big improvement in ERA this year for Hurts, 1.76 compared to 4.85 last year. He was hurt early in the season last year, and that definitely hurt his numbers. He was also hurt early in the season this year. He's down and in, 3-0 to Nunez.
Well, too often in this tournament, we've seen pitchers get in trouble by not working ahead in the count, and things have spiraled out of control quickly. Caleb's got to settle down here.
3-0 to Nunez, way high and inside, ball 4. So the 55th walk of the year for Nunez puts a runner at first with 1 out. Good crowd here at Coleman Field in Cary, North Carolina, hosting the Division II Baseball Championship once again. So we've been here since 2009. Stephen Klein comes up.
You know, unlike Angelo State, Tampa has some speed, and they're reasonably aggressive, but they don't usually try to force the issue on the base paths. Angelo State will run at will.
Short lead at first for Nunez. Klein takes. That's a ball, 1-0. Your umpires today, we have 6 of them. Ryan Carl, the crew chief, is the home plate umpire. Mike Hinojosa at first. Mark Moffitt at second. John Bennett at third. Then you have a left field umpire in Tony Veltri and a right field umpire in Steve Miller. We got it all covered. 1 out runner at first. 1-0 to Klein. Upstairs, 2-0. It's a raucous crowd. We have not heard this kind of noise throughout the week. The Tampa fans really bringing it. And we're going to have a visit at the mound early here. Adam Foster, the pitching coach, coming out to talk to Hurts.
Well, while we have a little break in the action, let's set the defense for you. Left fielder Jacob Guerrero. Weston Vlasik's been really solid in center field this week. Right fielder C.J. Garnett around the diamond from third to first. Cam Kelton's been awesome at third base. Middle infield really reliable this week. Ryder McDaniel, Blake Wilhoit at short and second. First baseman is Tayton Treadaway, and the first-team All-American catcher Trip Clark behind the dish. And if this is maybe the first time this week that you're joining us since it's the national championship game, Justin Harris from Angelo State is generally okay. He's with the team, but unfortunately he was hit by a pitch in the face in the first game of the tournament, and he has not been able to return, and thankfully the depth in the middle infield's worked out okay for the Rams.
It has. I mean, this is the only team that has not committed an error in this tournament. There's a called strike to Klein, 2-1.
Plus, McDaniel has been unbelievable offensively, and not a guy that Angelo State has expected a ton of run production from. There's Ryder.
Freshman. Nunez at first, 1 out, 2-1 to Klein. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball low. 3-1 now to Stephen Klein. J.P. Gates is looming on deck. He is a tough man to get out. You don't want to have a couple of base runners with him coming up. Hurt steals the 3-1. High ball 4. Back-to-back walks by Hurts, and it will be 2 on with 1 out for Gates. Gates hitting .415, 8 homers, 51 RBIs, a team high 21 doubles, an on-base percentage of .529. Plus, he's the closer on this team. He does it all.
He's hit the cover off the ball this week. 6 for 14 at the plate. A couple doubles, couple homers, driven in 6. And the big guy's got an opportunity here to put Tampa on the board in the first.
And Hurts having trouble throwing strikes, gets behind 1-0. Nunez at second, Klein at first, 1 out. Both runners walking. The pitch to Gates. In there for a called strike, 1-1. Garavito is on deck. Tampa trying to tie the record. The most titles won in Division II, Florida Southern, 9. Tampa has 8. They win this game, they'll win it all. Bouncing ball hit to first base. Handled by Treadaway. Tags the bag, that's all he'll be able to get for out number 2. The runners move up to second and third, but that is always a big out to get Gates. Santiago Garavito will come up. Hitting .314, 12 homers, 58 RBIs. 2 men in scoring position here with 2 down. Jared steals. In there with a breaking ball, called strike, 0-1. We mentioned Joe Urso. This is his 24th season, over 1,000 wins in his career and 5 national championships.
He's never missed regional play while leading Tampa. They are the team of the century, if you want to think about them that way, since the turn of the calendar. I mean, Tampa has just been, without really a sliver of the doubt, they're the measuring stick right now in Division II baseball.
Yeah, since the turn of the century, the 5 titles, that's the most of any school at any NCAA level. 0-2 to Garavito in the dirt. 1-2 to Santiago. This would really be a feather in the cap of Hurts if he can get out of this unscathed. It's a Tampa lineup that does a lot of damage. Came into this tournament 4th in the nation, averaging 10 runs a game. 1-2. Strike 3 called at the letters. And the inning is over on the second strikeout by Hurts. He walked 2, but he leaves 2 in scoring position. At the end of 1/2 inning, the score, Tampa 0, Angelo State coming to bat.
Here come the Rams. Fans, you can now access the official NCAA digital game program on your mobile device, tablet, or laptop free of charge.
Tampa 0, Angelo State coming to bat in the bottom of the first inning for head coach Kevin Brooks. His team plays a lot of small ball. They've won 3 of their 4 games here in Cary. And their starting lineup has stayed the same. Trip Clark in the middle there, number 3 hitter. He's a first-team All-American.
Angelo State's just done it their own way. And they're never going to apologize for that. They can certainly score runs. At times this week, they've gotten really hot. At times, they've had to scratch some things across. They have certainly benefited from being walked a ton.
Yeah,
They've been
right.
walked 23 times and hit by 18 pitches in 4 games. So many free base runners.
A lot. Tayton Treadaway leading off, and he takes a ball 1-0, facing junior right-hander Alex Caney. He's 13-3 with a 3.10 ERA, 97 strikeouts, and 101 2/3 innings pitched this year. There's a strike, 1-1.
Kenny is second-generation Spartan. His dad, Matthew, played for UT back in the mid-90s. Can only imagine how proud his parents are, Matthew and Audrey, and his younger brother, Ian. I'm sure they are watching him closely here today. So he gets to pitch in the biggest game of his life.
Bouncing ball hit towards second base, handled by Woodburn. One up, one down for the Rams in the bottom of the first.
And look, it's certainly not lost on Tampa, but maybe it gets lost in the national conversation just how good this kid is, because Skylar Gonzalez pitches on Saturdays normally, right? This kid's usually your Friday guy. The thought of, hey, he's not the national pitcher of the year, his teammate is, but he's the one they want out there first and foremost. Two-time All-American. He's got electrifying stuff.
Jacob Guerrero lines one into center field. That's a base hit. He greets Caney with a bullet to center. So a runner at first, one out for Angelo State. 5th hit in 18 at-bats for Guerrero in this tournament.
And like I said, Angelo State just does it their own way. I mean, they certainly have hit the ball well this week. Don't get me wrong. An average in this tournament of 269. They've got now 36 base hits in what is the beginning of the 5th game they've played.
Good speed at first. Trip Clark at the plate takes a strike, 0-1.
So an average of 9 hits a game, let's call it, but they are also getting an average of more than 10 free passes a game. So there's been so much traffic for them, and they just know how to make you pay for your mistakes.
0-1 to Clark. Guerrero can run 30 steals. There he goes. Little looper into center. Here comes Combo. It drops. Reading it well was Guerrero, and he gets to third base. Runners at the corners with one out. Trip Clark comes through.
A great piece of hitting by a guy who's been super reliable this season, but sometimes had some tough moments this week. Trip Clark, a couple extra base hits in general, but largely has been held in check. No better time to break out than to start your national championship opportunity with a base knock.
Here is Conaher Sands, who has struggled here, 2 for 17. A breaking ball misses inside, 1-0. On the year, though, batting .318, 3 homers, and 49 RBIs. One of those homers did come here.
National championship games are about managing your emotions and capitalizing on momentum.
Middle infielders cheating in, looking to turn 2. A throw to first, a loopy throw over there. Clark back safe. Clark, even though he's a catcher, he is a big-time threat to run. 27 stolen bases this year. This Angelo State team, they have 15 steals in their 4 games here, most of any team. There he goes. Pitch high. Throw to second by Garavito into center field. Guerrero scores. Clark safe at second as Combo plays it in. It's 1-0 Angelo State. Garavito airmailed it.
That is an unusual mistake by a Tampa defense that's been solid this week. But a poor decision there is costly. These two teams this week, not surprisingly, they are the 2 best defensive teams we've seen in Cary. And so often, the teams that don't shoot themselves in the foot have the best chance to win a title. And I think right now, maybe there's a little bit of that, hey, we're expected to be here. Nobody has, like for Tampa, regularly throughout the year brought up the conversation of we want to go win a national title. It's understood. It's the culture. It's what these guys are here for. There's a lot of really, quote-unquote, old college players on this roster, some 23 or 24 years old. They know what they're here trying to do, and yet now you're in this environment, and there's a little bit of that, early anxiety that's weighing in.
Sands ahead 3-0, and he's taking a called strike, 3-1. That's only the second error for Tampa here in this tournament. Caney, who can get his fastball up to 94 miles an hour, usually lives between 88 and 90, though. 3-1, fouled back out of play, comes back in the count to get it full. Caney, 13 wins against 3 losses, and in his career, he's 23-3. One of the top pitchers in the country. Clark at second, 1 out, 3-2 to Sands. Inside ball 4. And again, you have 2 on here with 1 out. And I'll bring up Weston Velasic, who has shown great ability in center field defensively. Hitting .296 on the year, 6 homers, 42 RBIs. 3 for 14 at the plate in the tournament. Been aboard quite a bit, though. 2 walks, 3 hit by pitches. There's a cold strike, 0-1. He's one of those hitters who crowds the plate, and he's been hit by 34 pitches this year, tied for most in the country. It's hard for the pitchers to avoid hitting him. It's all over the plate. The 0-1. Ground ball, second base side. Bobbled by Woodburn, throws to first. It's the only play he had, and that is out number 2. So the runners move up to second and third, and now it's up to Camden Kelton, who's had a good tournament at 4 for 11.
You know, I think there's a little bit of the early game butterfly jittery thing going on for Tampa. Usually Woodburn is super sure-handed at second base. It's unlike him to bobble a reasonably routine grounder like that. Spartans need to settle down and try to keep this 1-0.
Kelton has driven in 3 in this tournament. Breaking ball, that's a big bender for a strike, 0-1.
Right now the big difference, Angelo State got out of the jam with second and third in that first inning. We'll see if the Rams can hang a crooked number on the board in the bottom of the frame.
0-1 to Kelton. He bluffs a bunt. He's going to try to bunt that run, and he would need to be safe at first. But he takes the ball, 1-1. Run coming in after the stolen base by Clark and the throwing error by Garavito, the catcher. Couple of hits, a walk in this inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to the number 6 hitter, Kelton. Caney deals. Fouled back on top of the screen. 1-2 now to Kelton.
By the way, Caney is a Tampa kid. He's from Valrico, just outside of Tampa. Went to Durant High School. He's been living and training down there his whole life, and really, really excited to be pitching in a national championship game.
Trying to leave 2 in scoring position. 1-2 to Kelton. Outside. Through the heater there at 91. 2-2 the count. Caney beat UIndy by going 6 innings on Sunday through 105 pitches. Gave up 3 runs, 8 hits. 2-2 to Kelton. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He got him to retire the side. However, the Rams strike first. They get a run with a couple of hits, a costly error, and 2 left on base. At the end of 1, Angelo State 1, Tampa nothing. Here at the NCAA Division II Baseball Championship. Alongside Brendan Gulick, I'm Joe Castellano. It's just so great to have you with us. And for those of you who have been with us for every game since last Saturday, thanks for watching the whole time. And for those of you just joining us, this is a spectacular afternoon and such a great day of baseball when you get to championship Saturday, whether you have 1 or 2 games.
This is kind of how you draw it up in your head, isn't it? You know, you close your eyes and you think, all right, what's a national championship going to look and feel like? It is abundantly sunny. It's plenty warm. The weather is not going to negatively impact the game here today. You just go out and earn it on the field. It's great.
Mike Valdez to lead off for the Spartans against Hertz, and he takes a strike, 0-1. Valdez hitting .357. 7 homers, hit one the other day to center field, and 50 RBIs. Hertz walked 2 batters in the first, but got out of it unscathed. That's high and tight, 1-1. Left runners in scoring position, 2 of them. Angelo State trying to be the first team to win back-to-back titles since Tampa did it in 06-07. It's happened 7 times. Valdez takes a strike, and it's 1-2. Really is amazing. Hertz, who's been a reliever all year, but went out there and threw 7 1/3 innings. The win on Saturday. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a breaking ball. That's been tough for hitters to connect on. 3rd K already for Hertz.
Little undisciplined from the Tampa offense at the plate so far. I'm a bit surprised given that Hertz was wild to Cumbo, Nunez, and Klein. I didn't really love the pitch that Gates put in play, and then Garavito looked uncomfortable at the plate. Valdez chasing one that maybe was a smidge out of the zone, but either way, it wasn't a great swing. Tampa needs to take a deep breath here.
Here's Braden Woodburn, the number 7 hitter, hitting .304. 6 homers, 55 RBIs for the Tampa second baseman. Gets to a 1-1 count. I mean, you look at Hurts, the last 6 appearances, including so far today, he's gone 17 1/3 innings, no runs, 6 hits, 23 strikeouts. He has been on fire. 2-1.
Yeah, the question for the Rams is not, were you going to throw him today? He was basically always going to start this game. But if you want to win a national title, you need more than Caleb, and he's not going to be able to pitch in both games, or at least not going to give you anything that you would think if they get to a second game. I mean, I imagine this kid's going to throw, as long as he's effective, 100-plus pitches, and try to get you as far into this as you can.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Woodburn. Hurts looking for his 3rd consecutive strikeout. Doesn't get it there. It's a full count. This Tampa team has been so good, and now we see Tripp Clark is shaken up after he blocked that pitch, drops his mitt and his mask. The home plate umpire, Ryan Carl, giving him some time. I don't know where that got him, but it was not in a good place.
Decidedly not in a good place.
Ooh.
You're right.
Man, trying to walk it off. They've already had an injury to their starting shortstop here in Justin Harris. Austin Beck, who's been a solid second baseman, he's been out and not playing. They can't afford to lose Tripp Clark. 3-2 to Woodburn. He's hanging in there. Payoff pitch. Low. Ball 4. 3rd walk for Hurts. And a runner at first with 1 out.
Shortstop, number 10,
Nico Saladino will climb in, hitting .298, 9 homers, 56 RBIs. Shortstop in the 8-hole. This Tampa team is so deep. It's so many great players on the offensive end and the pitching side. Swing and a miss, 0-1. That Jim Gant, the head coach for Catawba, after he lost to them, he called them the Yankees of college baseball, and you can understand why.
New York Yankees of college baseball. And you know what? The shoe fits right now. It really does. They look the part.
Saladino takes low, 1-1.
But, I mean, look, Angelo State doesn't care. They're the defending champs.
Right.
And Kevin Brooks said to his team late in the season, after they had been trying most of the year to put last year in the rearview mirror and just focus on the present, Coach Brooks said, you know what, I wasn't doing right by you guys. I'm sorry. We need to act like we're the national champions. We need to stick our chest out a little bit and say, until somebody beats us, we're the team that they got to get through. And it doesn't matter that they were the 8th seed or they had all this adversity throughout the year. They're still alive.
I can understand the dichotomy there, though, because you think at the beginning of the year, you want to wipe the slate clean because you have a new team, and you don't want them to focus too much on last year. So they weren't focusing on being the national champs, but then he said, you know what, I got to use that to my advantage.
I think I mentioned it yesterday. One of the hardest things to do in this sport is do something that you haven't done before. You believe you can do it, but there's always that element of, what are my eyes telling me? And so when you have that in the back of your mind of, no, I literally have done this. We dogpiled. We won.
Right.
Right? You don't have to pretend that that's a new feeling.
Saladino, right field, right at Garnett. Back to first goes Woodburn, 2 down. Flags are still right now, so that's not going to affect the ball carrying at all. Jake Griffith will come up here. There are the flags. With only 2 teams standing, there are only 2 team flags out there. They've dropped the other 6 down. When you lose, they drop it down, and you get eliminated. Griffith hitting .300, 4 homers, 37 RBIs. He's been one of their best hitters, 6 for 10 in this tournament. Woodburn can run, and he draws a throw. He has 18 steals this year in 22 attempts, and he has a couple of stolen bases here in this tournament. Church looking at that device there to get the pitch call, and it may say throw to first base on it. And it does. Back in safe is Woodburn. Might say, hey, throw over there a few more times. It's not like the major leagues where you're limited. You could throw over there as many times as you want. Woodburn with the oven mitt on as he leads off, trying to protect his fingers. Griffith takes a called strike, and it's 0-1.
Well, the thing I like about Caleb Hurts, even though he's been a little bit erratic today, his misses have been down. They're balls in the dirt, even in some cases spiking them in front of home plate. You cannot miss up in the zone to this team.
Swing and a miss by Griffith, 0-2. 3 walks and 3 strikeouts so far for Hurts. Tampa looking for its first hit. Cumbo is waiting on deck. Runner at first, 2 down. It's 0-2 here to Griffith. Hurts looking for his 4th K. Throws to first and back in safe is Woodburn.
I think Braden was going there. He flinched. He is lucky to have gotten back in safely, or at least I think he was on that last move.
Being held by Treadaway over there. 0-2 to Griffith. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He got him with a high fastball, and that retires the side on the 4th strikeout by Hurts. He leaves another runner on base. 3 have been left by the Spartans. Middle of the 2nd inning. Angelo State 1, Tampa 0. Lots of fan support here for both teams. As we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning, Angelo State leading 1-0 over Tampa. And bottom 3 in the order coming up here for the Rams. They have been great in this tournament. Garnett, Wilhoit, and McDaniel. Been the best bottom 3 that you'll see around. Garnett hitting .311 this year, a home run and 9 RBIs, and he takes a strike 0-1. He's got 5 hits and 15 at-bats. The guys behind him, Wilhoit and McDaniel, have combined for 11 hits in this tournament.
Yeah, the bottom of this Rams order has been really good offensively, and I'm just not sure that Angelo State came into the week expecting that, these 3 guys were going to play such a prominent role for them. Not a lack of capability, but usually you don't get that kind of production from the bottom of your order.
2-1 here to Garnett. Caney gave up a run in the 1st inning. Allowed a couple of singles and had a walk and had a stolen base, an error that allowed a run to score. 2-2 now to Garnett. Well, Angelo State, they had to win their game against IUP yesterday 7-3, while Tampa was off yesterday to get to the championship. The 2-2 fouled back. It remains 2-2. And IUP, they made a nice run, didn't they? They lost the first game.
Oh, man.
But then they were able to make a run to the semis for a team that had been terrible just a few years ago. They really opened some eyes, right?
Yeah, they were 2-35 2 years ago. I mean,
right.
Talk about rags to riches. They go from a program in total despair to on the doorstep of a national championship. That just doesn't happen very often in only a 2-year stretch. They deserve so much credit. Won 3 elimination games this week. They won some ugly games, but, the sign of a good team is figuring out a way to win when you don't have your best stuff, and the Crimson Hawks battled this week.
It's fouled back. It remains 2-2 to Garnett. And then on the other side of the bracket, Catawba, they lost their first game 7-0. So you thought, oh, maybe they can't hit very well. They lost to Southern New Hampshire, but they rebounded after that, and they were able to win 15-9 and 18-1. Then they lost yesterday. Check swing foul on the right side. So it's still 2-2, and this is going to be the 9th pitch of this at-bat for Caney against Garnett.
Yeah, Catawba had a stretch there. They scored 33 runs on 38 hits in those 2 games.
Amazing.
And unfortunately for them, their bats went quiet against Tampa, but gosh, were they hot for a good little stretch there. And in the 18 innings they played, Joe, they scored more than 1 run in 9 of them. I mean, just pouring it on in those 2.
It was a couple days ago, actually, that they lost to Tampa 7-2 to get eliminated. Angelo State eliminating IUP yesterday. 3-2 is high for ball 4. So a long plate appearance there. 10 pitches. And the second walk for Caney. Here comes Blake Wilhoit. Wilhoit hitting .304, a home run and 26 RBIs on the year. 6 hits and 10 at-bats here. He had a 5-hit game. There goes the runner from first. Throw to second by Garavito. The slide. He's safe. So Garnett, his 6th stolen base of the year. 5 of them have been here in Cary, and he is in scoring position with nobody out.
Yeah, and a much better throw there from Garavito. Good to see him let one rip, but frankly, I think that was probably stolen on the pitcher. Caney was just a little slower getting to home plate. Good jump. And Garnett is in scoring position here with nobody out.
1-0 to Wilhoit. Look out. Showing bunt. Caney threw it right near him. That's stolen base, the second of the game and the 17th of this tournament for Angelo State. The pitch to Wilhoit. High and tight. 3-0 to Blake Wilhoit, the number 8 hitter. He's had quite a tournament in which he scored the game-winning run in their first game and then had the 5-hit game. Look out, and that inside for ball 4. He's going to get on either way. His second walk of the tournament to go along with 5 hit by pitches. 2 on and nobody out. 2 walks in a row to start the inning. And here comes Sam Militello, the pitching coach for Tampa.
So both pitchers dealing with a little bit of erratic stuff right now. You know, yesterday we saw, especially from IUP, how inaccurate they were on the mound. And I half wondered if there was maybe something wrong with the mound where those guys might have not been landing right or something to that effect. But after, giving the mound a really good close look, and now 2 days in a row, you wonder maybe if it's just a little bit more in between the ears.
Could be, and maybe that's why Coach Militello is out there trying to get the mental part of the game going. You think about Caney, who has 13 wins, second in the country, and Skylar Gonzalez, 16 wins, which is a new Tampa record, leads the nation. 29 wins between the 2 starters that have been under Militello.
He beat that guy's record.
Right.
Militello was one of the 15-win pitchers single season at UT. By the way, Klein and Woodburn, during that break, were just discussing bunt coverage defense here.
And here's McDaniel, and he takes a strike, 0-1 to Ryder McDaniel, hitting .283, 1 homer, 37 RBIs, 7 ribbies in this tournament. 6 of those RBIs have been in the last couple of games from the 9-hole for McDaniel, the freshman. 2 on, nobody out. Caney will lob it over to second base.
Joe Urso standing on the top step of the dugout near side for Tampa, and he was pretty animated a moment ago in making sure that his team knew exactly how they wanted to defend this very highly likely bunting situation.
Scoring a bunt, and it's bunted on the third base side. Caney fields, bobbles, throws to first. Got him. And as a 1-4 put out, the sacrifice is successful, getting runners to second and third with 1 out for the top of the order in Treadaway.
Right now, Angelo State has Tampa where they want them. And I'm not just talking about literally second and third and 1 out. There was a throwing error by the catcher, Garavito. There was a bobble on a ground ball to second. There's a bobble on a ball hit on a bunt right back to Caney. Tampa's playing a little tight right now. They need to take a deep breath.
They play the infield back with 1 out and 2 runners in scoring position. Called strike to Treadaway, 0-1. He grounded to second in the first inning. If you get that same ground ball here, he would score a run. Garnett at third, Wilhoit at second. Good speed on the bases. That's way outside and high. 1-1.
And I'm sure there's some element of Angelo State, in addition to knowing, hey, we're the national champs and using that. They're probably also leaning a little into maybe we're not supposed to win this, right? We're the 8th seed. Everybody's talking about this Tampa Spartan group.
Is this deep enough? Griffith lining it up, catches it. Garnett tagging at third, and he will score easily as a throw comes into third. Angelo State takes a 2-0 lead on the sac fly by Treadaway.
It's a little bit easier when you're maybe not supposed to be the team that gets it done And so Angelo State right now taking advantage of some of these early opportunities. 3 walks in the first couple innings from Alex Caney. And now one of them comes across.
Here's Jacob Guerrero. This time he takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Last time he banged the first pitch into center field for a base hit. Runner at second with 2 down. Angelo State a run in the first and a run here in the second against Caney. Guerrero bounces one up the third base side, just fair, fielded by Nunez. Long throw. He's got quite an arm, and he gets Guerrero to retire the side. But Angelo State, another run, taking advantage of the back-to-back walks to start the inning. They get that run without the benefit of a base hit. At the end of 2, Angelo State 2, Tampa nothing.
E.J. Cumbo going to lead things off as we start the top of the 3rd inning. We've talked an awful lot about his accolades, what he's on the precipice of doing here. The next hit would be number 400, but his journey to Tampa is pretty wild, frankly. He's a Long Island kid who arrived at Tampa literally a week ahead of the fall semester when he was in North Dakota playing summer league ball in August of several years back, and he literally found out in a tweet that New York Tech had suspended athletics for a couple years. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I'm supposed to go to school here. He swings and misses. So he immediately called his former New York Tech teammate, Alex Passarella, who was also a Long Island kid who had transferred to Tampa after the 2018 season. The next day, he was on the phone with Coach Urso, who was familiar with Cumbo because he saw him playing in Cary when New York Tech got here. And literally the next day, after speaking to Coach Urso, he basically said, Coach, look, this is where I want to be. I love your tradition. I want to be a pro baseball player. I love how many guys have turned careers into opportunities after being at UT. Coaching staff knew they needed to make room for him. As he swings and misses at strike 3 here, and there's one gone. And literally the day after that he called Coach Urso, he was on his way to Tampa to enroll in school and start the next week, and it's been a great journey for him.
It can't be often that he has struck out twice in his first 2 at-bats like he has here in this game. But, yeah, what a journey for Cumbo, who played in the D2 championship with New York Tech and played in the D2 championship prior with Tampa. He's never won it all, though.
Anthony Nunez at the plate. Cumbo was also really grateful for former major leaguer Frank Catalanato, who was leading that New York Tech program.
Yeah, remember him.
And saying, hey, this guy was really helpful in getting me started in my college career. And Coach Catalanato was very supportive of EJ coming down to Tampa because there was no reason for him to stick around where a program had basically been put on hold.
And the amazing thing is that Coach Urso told us that Cumbo's the best player he's ever had, and that's saying a lot with all of the great players that he's had.
Nunez walked his last time up. He lifts this one foul. 2-0 Angelo State. 2 runs on 2 hits here in the beginning of this national championship game. No runs, no hits, 1 error for Tampa. Spartans have stranded 3. Rams have also left 3. Nunez fouls it off. If you're unfamiliar with his journey, Anthony Nunez, a former minor leaguer. There is a rule available at Division II where if a guy goes out of high school to play professional baseball, if it doesn't work out, he can come back and play as a Division II player. And Anthony, who did not work out as a hitter professionally, still has a really live arm as he cracks this one into the right center field gap for a base hit. That might help Tampa exhale a little bit as they finally have a well-struck ball. The first trip through the order, I would argue, not great at bats for the Spartans. Maybe that'll settle them down.
Yeah, first hit of the game for Tampa. And you can tell this guy is really mature since he's already played in the minors, like you mentioned. He played in the Padres organization. Not the first time Coach Urso has had that situation. Nick Tyndall, you might remember, who played here in the D2 championship, also played pro ball and then played for Tampa.
Stephen Klein takes down low. Good stop by Trip Clark to keep that in front of him.
Yeah, after he got hit in a bad spot earlier, he's recovered from that and right back to blocking balls the way that you know he can.
Klein walked and was stranded at second last time.
Vlasic's playing pretty deep in center.
High pop-up, back of the infield left side. Kelton ranging back, and with two hands, he puts away the second out of the inning. Okay, so here comes J.P. Gates, another guy who's been playing a lot of college baseball for a long time. Started his career down in Coral Gables with the Miami Hurricanes. Pretty arguably the best player to ever come out of Nature Coast High School in Brooksville, Florida. And J.P. Gates, unfortunately, while he was in his second year as a Hurricane, got hurt. He needed Tommy John surgery. He was a pretty good two-way player those first couple years. In fact, as a freshman, he was in the All-Starkville regional team. So he's been in big moments with big crowds, big games. But when he had that Tommy John surgery, it ended his season in 2021. And after eventually recovering, he went to Valdosta State and then transferred to Tampa. But the combination of the COVID year and the injury has allowed him to keep playing here. At one point, he was a Division I third-team preseason All-American. And he turns on one well into the right field corner here. This is down and off the fence on one hop. Nunez gets the stop sign. Gates on his way into second, and he dives in with a double. J.P. Gates, an extra base hit. The tying runs are in scoring position for the Spartans with 2 outs in the third.
Well, Gates just pounded this one. That's the way he normally swings the bat. Hit it right up against the Spartans logo out there in the right field corner. And that's just the way he hits all year. His 22nd double to lead the team in that category.
Santiago Garavito lifts it in the air. Fairly well hit to right field. Ranging back to the corner. Garnett makes a running snow cone catch. A heart-stopping moment for the Rams. Is the third out of the third inning. Exhale, Angelo State. Another inning where Tampa leaves 2 runners in scoring position. It was a long run into that corner, but Garnett made the play, and a ball that frankly may have come down there in foul ground had he not caught it. Either way, middle of the third, it is the defending champions out front, 2-0. A little bit of wind rippling through the flags. Not too much there at the moment, but it has been one of the talking points this week. Those flags are basically out at the entrance to this facility, which in the direction from home plate is way out beyond the left field fence. The USA Baseball National Training Complex indoor facility that was recently constructed within, just commissioned here within the last couple of months, but obviously had been in construction last year when we were here. As Trip Clark grounds one right side. Kind of a tough play. Klein keeps it in front of him and puts it away for 1 out. That facility seems, at least in the eyes of some folks that have been here for a while, seems to have maybe changed the wind patterns a little bit in Cary. We have certainly seen a fair number of home runs. Look at the big black rectangles on the green part of that building. What you don't realize unless you are actually up close is that that is an open air facility. Those are not blocked off. And so it's a great training facility, but we've seen the wind maybe, take a little bit of a different look. It's just a truly world-class place for USA Baseball to train. We're grateful that they are, once again, our gracious hosts for this national championship tournament. Conaher Sands flies out to right field, and fairly quickly here, Joe, 2 outs in the third. But something that maybe we pay attention to late in the tournament, if the wind is changing a little bit, maybe has more impact on balls that are hitting the air and potentially some more power.
Yeah, the other thing is that the wind tends to gust here. 1 minute you're saying there's no wind. The next minute it's kind of blowing around. Right now it looks like it is kind of blowing in from left.
Angelo State last year won this national championship and only hit one home run all week. In fact, more than half of the home runs hit in the tournament last year came from one team. So it's not really bothering the Rams that they don't have quite the same, consistent thump in their order that Tampa has, because they play the kind of baseball that regularly wins here. They run well. They generally have pitched it well over their trips. Of course, 4 in a row for Angelo State, winning the South Central Regional. But they just find other ways to make life challenging on you, and they can line drive you to death. This ball is roped on the ground to third, where Nunez takes care of it with a nice throw across the diamond. And quite frankly, that's exactly what Alex Caney needed. A quick, routine, low-stress 1-2-3 inning. All right, we are rolling along, going to the fourth. It's 2-0 Angelo State. They've got to beat Tampa twice to win a national championship. Caleb Hurts moving along with 50 pitches on his line through the first 3 innings of work. Actually, 51 exactly. 3 innings of scoreless baseball, but it hasn't been low-stress ball. 3 walks, 2 hits, but he's got 5 strikeouts in the first 14 batters. It's not unlike him, but it is a bit unlike Tampa. Mike Valdez scheduled to lead it off here in the top of the 4th inning. Valdez, Woodburn, and Saladino. Tampa's had chances each inning. They had 2 walks in the first and stranded a couple runners in scoring position. And a 1-out walk in the second inning. Woodburn never moved past first base. Tampa finally got its first base hits in the third from Nunez and Gates, and they were both really well hit. But that first trip through the order, I feel like there were some nerves running through the Spartan veins. Hopefully those have settled down a little bit. On the flip side, Angelo State, it just feels like they're playing loose. They're acting like they're the team to beat, even though they know they got to go win a doubleheader today. You see the little 8 next to their name, that means they were the 8th seed this week, and I almost feel like they took that personally, even though they never publicly acknowledged it quite like that.
Yeah, they're kind of caught between, oh yeah, we're playing with house money because we're the number 8 seed. Oh yeah, wait a minute, we're supposed to win again because we're the defending champs. IUP, they said they were playing with house money, and that really was true.
Hurts misses ball 4, so he's issued a 4th walk. With nobody out in the 4th inning, a leadoff base runner for the first time for Tampa.
The number 1 seed, Central Missouri, they were 2 games and out, which was surprising.
Yeah, they just never really could get that vaunted offense going this week. Basically, no clutch hits for the Mules, who were, it seemed like, immune to those kinds of mistakes this year. Wild pitch. Mike Valdez scampers down to second base. And I said it earlier, Hurts has missed low, and that's certainly better than missing up in the zone. But Caleb has been a little bit wild. First time we've had a runner in scoring position with nobody out for Tampa in this game, and now a good RBI chance for Woodburn.
By the way, that walk, the 4th of the game, that's 400 walks for Tampa this year to lead the country. In addition to everything they do swinging the bats, they get on with a lot of walks.
In there, a called strike. Well, this is their 60th game of the year. So they're averaging almost 7 walks a game.
Jeez.
And to be honest with you, while that certainly is a lot, I would imagine that it's understandable.
Yeah.
Pitching pretty carefully to a lineup that feels like 1 through 9, they can beat you anywhere. And on the flip side of that, Joe Urso told us a little bit earlier this week that he felt if he was being objective about the Sunshine State Conference, he said he thought maybe league-wide pitching was down just a little bit this year. Maybe that had something to do with it. This ball was right over the middle of the plate and whacked into deep center field. Valdez tagging just short of the track. Velasic puts it away for out number 1, but a productive out as Valdez moves up 90 feet.
Velasic kind of scared me out there. He kind of double clutched with his glove. Watch Velasic as he goes back. He's under control, but look what he does with his glove. What? Whoa. I mean, that must be how he always lines it up.
Caleb Hertz working to Nico Saladino, and now the infield comes in. Saladino flew out to right field last time up. He grounds it softly through the middle, base hit. Spartans are on the board in the national championship with a soft single through the middle from Nico Saladino.
So that's where the walk hurts you, the leadoff walk. He didn't allow any of the free passes the first 3 to score, but this time he does. And Saladino says, you know what? We have bottom of the order hitters who can do damage as well, just like Angelo State does.
Jake Griffith struck out swinging last time up, 0 for 1. All right, both teams have scored. Now we get a ball game. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for ASU. A run on 3 hits and 1 error for Tampa. And there a strike. Caleb, a senior from San Angelo, Texas. He's the pride of Wall High School, where as a prep player, he was named the 3A Texas Player of the Year. This ball is lifted, very playable, down the left side. Into foul ground, and a great sliding catch by Guerrero. Wasn't sure he was going to get there. Looked like it was dropping more quickly than Jacob would get to. That's an excellent play.
Well, the last inning ended with a snow cone by Garnett and Wright. And this time we see Guerrero making a long run. Good thing he has speed that enabled him to get to that baseball. There's a lot of room in foul territory, too.
Hertz pitched twice here in Cary last year. Not in the national championship game, but he had 2 good performances, both against Southern New Hampshire, who, by the way, was back again this year, like the Rams. The Penman from Southern New Hampshire University, also 4 consecutive regional championships. E.J. Cumbo at the plate. Runner at first and 2 outs. Cumbo is a little out of whack today. This is pretty unlike him. Only 5 times in his 51 games this year has he gone hitless.
How many times has he struck out? 3 times. That's what Hertz has a chance to do in his first 3 at-bats. Just yesterday, we saw him homering to center and homering to left. Or 2 days ago, I should say.
E.J. Cumbo rips it to left field, but it hangs up for Guerrero. Good swing there from E.J., but unable to come up with that magical hit, and we continue to patiently wait. See if he can get to hit number 400 in his career. In the meantime, Tampa gets on the board, and the Spartans can exhale after a rocky start to the game. It's now 2-1 in the middle of the 4th here in Cary. Sun-splashed championship Saturday afternoon as Kevin Brooks takes his walk to the third base coach's box. You want to talk about a coach that has just had the right feel. Kevin Brooks, I mean, I just feel like he hasn't made a mistake all week. I don't know if he would tell you that or not, but he's been so good at making the right moves at the right time this week.
Oh,
that one grabbed the front left elbow there of Cam Kelton. Painful for the Rams, but another free base runner, this one to open the 4th.
That's his 4th hit by pitch of the tournament. That gives Angelo State 19 hit by pitches in this tournament as he gets hit on the guard, I think. And that's 159 hit by pitches this year to lead the country for the team.
7th appearance at the Division II National Tournament for the Rams underneath Coach Brooks. 7 South Central Regional Championships. He's closing in on 800 career wins. He is the only coach in Angelo State history. Helped launch the program in 2005. Never
had a losing season. And he was telling us that he hates losing more than he likes winning.
It was funny. He goes, nobody likes winning more than me. And then he kind of caught himself. He goes, actually, I don't know if that's true. I just hate losing a lot more than I like winning. Calls time out to talk to Garnett.
Garnett is a guy who came on strong here at the end of the year. I mean, he was not playing all that much, but he has looked so comfortable in Cary. He has played a major role on this team here.
Coaching is it's a challenging profession. It is certainly rewarding, but it takes a full family to be bought in. Coach Brooks and his wife, Robin, they've got 5 children, Cannon and Jake, their 2 sons, Bailey, Reese, and Bree, their daughters. Also, it sounds like they've got 5 dogs and 2 cats, and they love being part of the ASU community.
Can you imagine if he pulls this off? I mean, last year they had 56 wins, a school record, and they went 4-0 here in Cary and won it. This is a little different this year. I mean, they didn't win their conference. They had to play 3 games in the Super Regional, had to rebound from a 25-12 loss in that. Here they lost a game. They had to battle through and facing elimination, winning to get here, and they have to win twice today.
Fouled away at the plate.
It's not easy.
No, and even, just bigger picture. It hasn't been an easy season for them. He told us early in the week, he said, look, there were some moments this year that we just played terrible baseball. This was not a, Tampa-esque season where they came out and scored 90 runs in their first 6 games and fired off warning shots to the rest of the country saying, hey, we're the team to beat. Garnett dumps one into left center. That's down for a hit. Kelton goes first to third, and the Rams have runners on the corners with nobody out in the bottom of the 4th.
There he is, Garnett. He's been one of their most valuable players here. 6 hits and 16 at-bats. Plus, he's walked 5 times, and he's played well in right field. And this guy is a catcher by trade. He's done the job. And, Kelton, he's been all over the bases. You see him there, big turn at third. He has scored 7 runs in this tournament in 4 games.
And now Blake Wilhoit, who a few days ago went 5 for 5 for a guy that was not in the starting lineup at the start of the week. That is pretty impressive. He turns, the safety squeeze up the first base line. They put on the tag and get the runner. And for the Rams, it works out well. I'm a little surprised that Klein didn't take a step inside and throw to the plate because he probably had a good chance to get Kelton.
Yeah, I think he should have thrown to the plate. I thought he had a play. Watch Klein here. Sure, there's the easy play with a runner coming at you, and he almost looked like he wanted to make the throw, but maybe the runner was kind of in his way. He was doing a little dance, and he realized he couldn't get off a good throw.
That's how Angelo State wins games. They can small ball you. They can run on the bases. They just do things that frustrate you. And all of a sudden, Tampa goes, okay, we're back in it, and then they give up a run. Breaks for third, throw behind the batter. It's a good-looking throw, but not in time. Ooh. Excellent base running from C.J. Garnett.
Wow. I didn't think he got a great jump. And I thought Garavito was going to be able to nail him there, but throw a little bit late. So 2nd stolen base of the game for Garnett. Give him 6 stolen bases here in Cary. It's the other thing he's done well.
Infield creeps in now. Check swing McDaniel. Nunez to the plate in a bunch of time. Dead duck. That hurts. And I hope Garnett's okay as he immediately rolls over onto his back. Clutching at the back of his neck. The catcher, Garavito, once he receives the ball, he's allowed to stand in front of the base. You can't block the plate prior to having the ball. And unfortunately for Garnett, he goes diving headfirst at home plate, and that is it's one of the more dangerous things you can do in the game. This is Megan Potoff, the athletic trainer, who's come out to work with Garnett. I hope he's okay, but that looked painful.
Very scary because he goes in head first, and his head goes right into the catcher, into his leg. So his neck absorbing that, and now they're going to make him lay down flat on his back to check him out. That is very scary when you're coming in at full speed like that too. Fans are concerned.
Well, the good news is Garnett is moving. It looked like he was able to move all of his extremities. So hopefully the seriousness of this injury is not too high, but I certainly don't want to speculate. Neck injuries are a scary thing. So let's step aside while he receives some medical attention here, and we will come on back here shortly.
Top of the order, first baseman number 18.
Quite glad to see Garnett get up under his own power and stretch a little and just try to see if everything is working the way he wants it to. He goes back into the dugout. He was out number 2 at the plate. We'll keep our eye on whether or not he comes back in the game in right field, but glad to see he seems to be okay in the grand scheme of things. Ryder McDaniel was obviously safe at first base on that fielder's choice, and so now Tayton Treadaway is batting. They're at first with 2 outs, 1 run already in for Angelo State here in the 4th. Caney's pitch is lifted in foul ground and out of play down the left side.
You know, Caney, when he pitched in the Super Regional against Embry-Riddle, he lasted 3 2/3 innings and gave up 7 runs, 9 hits. Tampa lost that game 15-9. Now, he rebounded and pitched pretty well here on Sunday against UIndy. But, I mean, this has not been typical of a guy who's 13-3 this year. I mean, to have 3 walks and a hit batsman and giving up 3 hits so far.
Tampa came to Cary with far and away the best pitching staff if you look at what they've accomplished this year. There's a pitch out. They've got him picked off. Boy, I'll tell you what. They called the right play, and then Klein was at least able to keep that low throw in front of him. Ryder McDaniel is one lucky duck.
Yeah, I mean, he was dead to rights. Garavito just didn't make a good throw over there. He should have had him. That should have been the inning right there. McDaniel's already been picked off first base one time in this tournament.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 as Treadaway chases a fastball well elevated out of the strike zone. But Angelo State is able to score here in the 4th on the safety squeeze from Blake Wilhoit. They answer Tampa's run on the top of the frame, and it is back to a 2-run contest. 3-1 after 4 in the national championship game. Glad to see Christian Garnett still in the game after a tough play at home plate. I can imagine there's going to be a lot of that. Arm circles and stretching, and maybe just the neck got a little stiff there as he awkwardly dove in to Garavito covering the dish when he was cut down at that plate. So we'll keep our eye on him out there, but glad he's still in. All right, Tampa, 2-3-4 due up here. Nunez, Klein, and Gates down by 2. Nunez singled to right field his last time up. He and Gates both had base hits in the 3rd inning. It's a good line shot into the right center field gap. Gates doubled into the corner. One and one. Caleb Hertz has pitched fine. I would say he hasn't been particularly economical, but he certainly has done a good enough job, and he's worked around some trouble. This ball is ripped into the right field corner. It's a 2-hit game for Anthony Nunez. It's misplayed by Garnett off the wall. Nunez gets a stop sign from Coach Urso. Garnett quickly scampered back to that ball that bounced away from him. And the Spartans have a leadoff double in the 5th.
Nunez has been on base every time. Walk, single, and now double. Just annihilated that pitch. There has been some good exit velocity on some of these hits for the Tampa hitters, and that carom not played all that well by Garnett out there.
Stephen Klein with an RBI opportunity. That's the outside corner.
That's what he has to do with his fastball. I mean, he's not going to blow people away. He does get it up to 90. But if he can spot his fastball and get ahead in the count, the curveball is pretty devastating for a lot of these hitters. They'll go chasing.
Klein, one of only a few guys on the roster that is not a native of the Sunshine State. Louisiana kid lifts one in the air to left field. Guerrero has it measured. Nunez bluffs like he's going to tag up. And the throw comes back into third base.
He's not going to be happy with that plate appearance. An unproductive out. You'd much rather be figuring out a way to pull it either on the ground to second or to the outfield to get that runner to third base with less than 2 outs. Instead, he's still at second.
Klein, by the way, another D1 transfer. He came from Samford University. All right, now J.P. Gates. Doubled last time up, 1 for 2. He's also grounded out to first base. Infield back all the way around. I will never forget the first time I saw this young man play in person in 2019. He was playing for Miami in a game at Pitt in the snow in late March. I would imagine you don't have too many games you play in the snow. They won that series, the Hurricanes did.
Well, you haven't broadcast in Rochester, New York like I did. We had plenty of games in snow.
For sure. But as a
Not
Miami,
a blizzard,
as a Miami kid, though, I can't imagine he's played too many games up in elements like that. Down low, 3 balls and no strikes. And to be honest with you, if Hertz puts him on with sort of the old intentional walk, wouldn't be the worst thing because you don't want to make a mistake to him, especially with first base open.
Right-hander Johnny Stacy in the pen for Angelo State.
There you go. 4 straight that missed the zone. Gates, certainly one of the more emotional guys on this team. You can see him trying to fire up the dugout. And now Kevin Brooks is coming out, and I actually am not totally surprised to see this. He hasn't pointed to the bullpen yet, but he's had a quick trigger hook all week long. And somewhere along the way, if you're ASU, man, you just trust that he just has this figured out. If he goes to Stacy here, who's been good, by the way, out of the bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
It might not be the most surprising thing.
Well, Hertz usually has pretty good control. I mean, the 5 walks is the most that he's had in a game this year. He had 3 in the last outing, but that was over 7 1/3 innings. He's walked 5 here, and we're in the 5th. And that is really playing with fire. When you're talking about facing a Tampa team that, if you start walking them, they have too many hitters that can do damage with men on base.
Hertz is up to 77 pitches right now. Coach choosing to stay with him. Again, not stunned that he's staying in the game, but I think Angelo State fans just right now have like this undying trust. Coach, whatever you want to do, we got your back. That's kind of the mentality that Rams fans have. Garavito 0 for 2. And Santi takes a called strike bottom of the zone. He struck out to end the first inning with runners at second and third. He took a breaking ball for called strike 3, and he fouled out into the deep part of the right field corner on a great running grab by Garnett to end the third.
Yeah, that was a snow cone. I'm still thinking about that on this hot afternoon.
I think they're selling those for $7 out on the concourse.
He had the snow cone in his glove.
Italian ice has been a popular treat we've seen fans looking for this week. 1-1. Boy, he really didn't want to go after it. He just couldn't stop himself. 1-2.
It's had kind of a tough game being 0 for 2 at the plate, and then he made that throwing error on the stolen base attempt by Clark when he threw it in the center field back in the first inning.
Got him swinging, strike 3. 2 outs.
6 strikeout, and Hertz just pitches in the clutch and able to throw a breaking ball that was up, but he got him to chase it And can he get out of another situation? He has left 6 on in the first 4 innings.
Each of the last 2 seasons, this year and last year, Caleb Hurts was injured at the beginning of the year. And his numbers weren't super indicative of how well he has pitched. Most of his runs this year were in the first month of the season. Same deal last year. Fastball, curveball, cutter, changeup. There's a lot of breaking balls for strikes. Part of the reason why they trust him in big moments. He can locate well. Mike Valdez, 2 on, 2 out, looking for a clutch Tampa hit.
They're 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position, Tampa.
Fouled it away. Kevin Brooks said his advice to his guys, we've played 60 games and every one of them is the same. Ultimately, they all have an impact on where you finish, what your opportunities are. Go play the way you know how to play and don't give up. Grounded to the left side, Kelton goes the short route, and they get the force at second base to end the inning. Tampa has stranded runners every inning. A total of 8 left on for the Spartans through 5 in a close game here in Cary. We are heading to the 6th of the national championship. It's 3-1 Angelo State. I'll tell you what, both these 2 programs have pretty crowded trophy cases, but I think they could find a way to make room for another one. Who wants to take home the coveted walnut and bronze national championship trophy? Somebody's going to bring it home. Will it be Tampa in 1 game? Will it be Tampa in 2 games today? Or will it be Angelo State in 2 games? We are halfway through this afternoon's affair. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm Brendan Gulick, Joe Castellano alongside. Appreciate our hardworking crew all week long. This is game number 14 of the week. Alex Caney, Tampa area kid, had an excellent first outing of the week. His team is unbeaten this week, 3-0, and he gets the ball here in this national championship tilt. Working to Jacob Guerrero. Got him ahead in the count 1-2. Guerrero singled and scored in the first. He grounded out in the second.
So last year of this format, next year we're going to switch to a best of 3 no matter what the record is of the 2 teams.
That's a good looking pitch, just missed inside, I guess. Alex is verifying the count as 2-2. I think I said at the end of last inning we were going to the 6th. I beg your pardon. It is clearly the bottom of the 5th inning. That one slides across the bottom of the plate and just missed below the zone.
I think it'll be fun to go to the best of 3 just like they have for the College World Series for Division I. They've not been doing that here at D2, but I think it'll be pretty cool. Start the championship on Friday.
Line shot into the gap in left center and another good base hit from Guerrero. He's hit the ball well today, trying to stretch it to a double, and he does! Jacob Guerrero with an extra base hit. Aggressive base running for the Rams pays off to start the 5th.
Wow. That is aggressive right there by Guerrero. Now, he can fly, so he can take that kind of chance, but it's pretty unusual to see a guy be able to do that when it just looks like it's a given that it's a single, and he's able to beat a throw into second base.
Cumbo's throw from center field was terrific. Guerrero just wanted a little bit more. Trip Clark, it's a high fly to deep left. Griffith back to the track, makes the catch. Guerrero coming to third. Relay is not in time. Runner at third with 1 out. Guerrero is just saying, come catch me if you can.
Well, I'll tell you what, the ball is not carrying the way it has on some days this week. Clark's ball, I thought that was going out. It doesn't. And it turns out to be a productive out. That was a pretty good relay. Saladino thrown over to third base, but Guerrero was just too fast.
Connor Sands, the cleanup hitter, hoping for a clutch base hit. For whatever reason, this just has not been Sands' week in general. He's walked and flown out today, 2 for 18 this week. He did have a 2-run homer. That's not indicative of the way he's played this year. He's been a good hitter, not necessarily a big power guy, but he has 24 extra base hits this season, and he's driven in 49 runs. Part of the problem is Trip Clark drives them all in front of him. National RBI leader Clark with 92. Sands is down in the count, 1-2.
You wonder if the contact play is on again. Remember, that was on in the fourth inning when Garnett was thrown out at the plate. So that means that if he hits the ball anywhere, that Guerrero would be coming home.
Infield in. Good job by Garavito.
It did not work out in the fourth inning. And the times that we've seen the contact play on here in this tournament, it has not worked out.
Two in a row in the dirt that Garavito defends nicely.
Yeah, and there's a lot of room between home plate and the backstop here. And with a speedy runner like Guerrero, that probably saves a run right there.
The payoff pitch. Just missed. Ball 4.
Huh, Caney
wow,
didn't like
was
it.
that close.
Yeah, he did not like that call by the home plate umpire, Ryan Carl. Let's see.
The Spartan dugout.
Can't say that I blame him. I thought when it crossed the plate, it was right there at the knees.
Sands at first, Guerrero at third. One gone for Weston Velasic as Garavito puts on the defensive play for the infield. Nunez, even with the bag at third, holding the runner middle infield back at double play depth. Softly grounded to Nunez. He's coming to the plate, and that's an easy put out. That's twice in the last 2 innings now that Nunez has fielded a ground ball and cut off a runner at the plate. So Guerrero with the aggressive base running twice worked, and that time went against him.
If memory serves, I think every time the contact play has been put on, a ground ball has been hit right at the third baseman. So the head coaches are getting unlucky right there because the statistics show, and that's why they do that, is that, you know, when it's contact play, a lot of times you're going to score that run pretty easily.
Cam Kelton. Soft grounder to the left side. Saladino. Gosh, is he good. Flashing the leather. Tampa was in quite a jam. First and third, one out, and they get out of the inning unscathed. Angelo State, despite leading by 2, is now 0 for 7 today with runners in scoring position. We got a great championship game going. We are heading to the 6th on NCAA.com. Well, you always hope that when you have a national championship game, that the quality of the game is worthy of the stage. And right now, I think you can certainly say that. We're about halfway through. Angelo State, the home team, they've got 3 runs on 4 hits with no errors and 6 left. University of Tampa, 1 run on 4 hits with 1 error and 8 runners left on base. Brendan Gulick, Joe Castellano alongside. Tampa goes back to work offensively with the bottom third of the order. Braden Woodburn, Nico Saladino, and Jake Griffith against Caleb Hurts. Caleb has just thrown his 86th pitch. 51 strikes, 5 walks, a wild pitch. But he's got 6 strikeouts with just 1 run on 4 hits against him.
Yeah, only 1 of those walks scored. And we've had a total of 9 walks in this game and a hit batsman. But really, the pitchers are kind of getting away with it right now.
Fouled it away. We are at the point now where I think we can start to at least say this, just to keep you informed at home. If there is a doubleheader today, if Angelo State wins this first game, it's our understanding there'll be 90 minutes between games. Obviously, the start time would depend on when we wrap. The question is, will somebody be dogpiling underneath this beautiful sunny sky, or will it be later tonight under the lights? Cannot wait to hand out a trophy at some point today. Woodburn with a 2-2 count. Here it comes. Tip that one off of Clark.
Tampa, they won it all in 2019. Then we had the COVID year. Wingate won in 2021. North Greenville in 2022. And then last year, Angelo State. So either way, we're going to have a team that has recently won that's going to win again.
Yeah, and cool storylines there. Angelo State hadn't won the national title until last year. This one is well off the plate. They are trying to become the first back-to-back champs since, you guessed it, Tampa, 2006-2007. If Tampa wins a title, it will tie them with Florida Southern for the most in Division II history. Payoff pitch is hammered out to left field. Guerrero back on it. It is off the top of the fence and bounces well away from him. On his way to second, Woodburn thought about it, but wisely stops there. Extra base hit to lead off the Spartans' sixth.
Man, that thing was hammered by Woodburn, and a good move to hold up at second. You could tell he wanted to step on the gas pedal even more and accelerate towards third. You never want to make the first out of the inning at third base. Watch this. Guerrero, he wanted to try to catch it, and then that Karen went way past him. But again, that's smart base running by Woodburn.
I mentioned that Angelo State does not have a base hit today with a runner in scoring position. Tampa's only got one in 8 chances. Frankly, both teams have had lots of traffic, but haven't really been all that clutch. Runners on in general, Tampa 2 for 14, Angelo State 2 of 10. Saladino, though, had that clutch hit, the RBI single in the 4th. Rolls it to the right side, it's productive, it gets away from Treadaway. Stop sign from Coach Urso. First and third, nobody out in the Tampa 6th.
More good base running / good coaching by Joe Urso. He held the runner at second earlier, too. That was both the coach and the base runner doing a good job. And again, they do it here because some runners might have tried to take off with that ball rolling away from the first baseman. But, you got nobody out. Now you got a threat here at first and third. Because Treadaway just couldn't handle that ball.
That is Angelo State's first error of the whole tournament.
Right.
Here's
amazing.
Jake Griffith. How does Hertz deal with this? Good pitch, but a little low. It is so much fun to look around and watch the ebb and flow of being a fan in this game. Tampa fans at times have been hanging their heads. Now they're as alive as can be. There are some sweaty palms amongst Angelo State fans.
Infield at double play depth. They'll trade a run here to get 2 outs if they can.
Griffith taking all the way. Good pitch, called strike. I think there's something to be said for learning how to control your heart rate as a pitcher in moments like this while there is a pitch clock. You can't take all day. 20 seconds between pitches is enforced. Grounded foul into the Tampa dugout, 2-2. And obviously if you're Hertz, yes, the tying run's at first base. You're a little less concerned about the guy at third. But with nobody out and Cumbo on deck, this is the most difficult situation he's been in so far today. 2-2. On the ground, into the sliding glove from Treadaway. Snap throw to third is not in time. The bases are loaded.
Well, I don't know about that decision right there. Get an out. I mean, you can go right over to the bag at first base, get the out there, but he wanted to get that lead runner. I mean, he saw him, he just thought that he had him hung up enough, Woodburn, but the throw too late, and once you make that decision, if it doesn't work out, now it could lead to disaster. Watch Treadaway here, diving play, could just go to the bag, but he was enticed just that was really tempting to try to get that runner, and it did not work out.
Coach Brooks comes out. I believe he had pointed down to the bullpen, but I don't see Stacy emerging over there yet.
Well, you have 99 pitches, but the guy who's coming up, Cumbo, has not handled Hirtz well. That's got to factor in here. He has struck out twice and flied to left. He's been the one pitcher that has handled Cumbo so well, so that could factor in for Coach Brooks as to why he's not pulling Hirtz here.
Maybe he waved off the bullpen. I could have sworn I saw him point down that direction. Wow, how about this? I mean, you want drama, we got it for you. Bases loaded, nobody out for the greatest hitter in Division II baseball history. Cumbo has to know that a walk is as valuable as a hit here, because while he is sitting on 399 career hits, his team is down 2 in the national championship. Cumbo struck out swinging in the first and third. Was a little off balance both at bats, and he hit a scorching line drive out to left field in the fourth. 0 for 3. This ball's through the right side. The 400th hit of E.J. Cumbo's career makes it a 3-2 game in Cary.
Third player ever in college baseball to get 400 hits in a career, and a solid knock to get Tampa within 1 run, a big 400th hit. Of course, he's the D2 leader, but joining 2 other players who were in Division I, and that's going to do it for Hirtz. It's the end of his day, and Johnny Stacy will come out of the bullpen.
Cumbo has had a flair for the dramatics his whole career, as he comes up with that record-breaking hit when he, or I should say the milestone hit, the record-breaking hit at home actually came via the home run. So EJ's aboard at first base, but more importantly, it's a 3-2 game. Johnny Stacy on to relieve Caleb Hirtz in the national championship next. There he is, E.J. Cumbo, who frankly has accomplished just about everything you'd want in a career individually, but he hasn't won a national championship. And for a guy that came to Tampa knowing that he has the ability to play this game at a high level, he is a serious contender for National Player of the Year. And yes, that's a great milestone, but I guarantee you he would tell you it means more that he came up with a big RBI single. And this inning is still very much cooking along for Tampa as Johnny Stacy takes over. Bases loaded, nobody out. Tampa down 1 in the 6th. And now former Padres farmhand Anthony Nunez at the plate. He has twice come up with hits today already. Nunez walked in the first, singled to right center sharply in the third, and cracked a good double into the right field corner in the 5th.
Stacy has pitched great here. 6 2/3 scoreless innings, no hits allowed.
Out to left field, hit well. Guerrero is there to make the catch. Saladino tags and scores, and we are level at 3.
Wouldn't you know it, the only error of the tournament for Angelo State, that turns into a run eventually, and that's just good hitting right there. Nunez to go to the opposite field, get the ball into the outfield, productive out, and this inning's still going.
And now one of the hardest guys to get out in this Tampa lineup, frankly, the next 2 batters. First, Stephen Klein. Takes a little bit low. Klein has walked, popped out, and flown out to deep left field. He's got 3 doubles in this tournament. It's a fair ball in the right field corner. Griffith scores. Cumbo being waved around. The throw comes to second. Stephen Klein makes it a 5-3 game for Tampa.
What an inning. 4 runs in. That one was just fair down the right field line. Now they're going to talk about it here because was it fair? We have 6 umpires. Now, you had the call made by Mike Hinojosa, the first base umpire, not the right field umpire, Steve Miller, who was standing over there, but that's the first base umpire's call to make. And they are going to take a look at it now.
Well, to your point, the first base umpire did point fair, but obviously that landed, right at Steve Miller's feet almost. And we do have a replay available in the championship. In case this is the first time you're joining us this week, all replays are conducted off-site in Pittsburgh at DVC Sport headquarters. There's no monitor here for the umpires on-site to look at. The replays are looked at in Pittsburgh, and then the decision is relayed to them. Each coach has challenges available, and this is certainly a no-brainer to ask him to take another look. It has to be indisputable evidence to overturn a call on the field.
Let's take a look. I mean, live, I thought definitely fair and a good call. Ooh, it didn't bring up any chalk. Although, I don't know, is that painted out there?
Yeah, in
painted,
the grass,
right?
It's painted, so
right.
You're not going to see chalk.
Not going to see chalk.
And if it catches any of that line, it's a fair ball. So we'll see what the decision is. At the moment, Stephen Klein has come up with a 2-run double to give Tampa a 5-3 lead here in the 6th.
Did you see enough there to say it was foul? I didn't.
No.
Yeah.
Personally, I didn't, but that's the best look we can show you guys at home.
You got to know for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that it's 100% that it's foul, and I don't think so. But you know what? Why not take a look if you're Coach Brooks?
Oh, you have to.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
But this one might take a little while, although now they're taking off the headsets. Another look.
The umpires emerge, and they say it's all good on the field.
Fair ball.
It is a fair ball and a 2-run double.
It's not conclusive that it was foul, so might be more that the call stands.
So Griffith and Cumbo score, and Tampa has taken the lead for the first time in this national championship game as J.P. Gates strolls to the plate. Gates with a high drive, deep to right center field. See ya! A guy that has been through so much in his career has delivered with the biggest hit of his life in the national championship game.
What an inning. His 3rd home run here at the D2 Championships, and he just launched it. He knew that was gone. That went deep into the trees out there. Wow. What a shot by Gates. 6-run inning.
105 miles an hour off the bat, officially 398 on the distance as Garavito fouls one off. J.P. Gates, when he needed Tommy John surgery in 2020, said that it was scary to the point that when he would flick his fingers, he felt nothing in his arm. Totally numb. I can't imagine how lonely and lengthy that process must have been to get back to a point where you could feel confident that your arm worked again, let alone play baseball. And then to come back and be a competitive player as Garavito hits a soft grounder to Kelton. Tough play and a good one for out number 2. To just get back to a spot where you could go compete, play baseball again. Valdosta State took a chance on him. Ultimately, he transfers back much closer to home down in South Florida. And Gates, who has been the purest power hitter in the middle of their lineup, delivers with a titanic home run to make it a 6-run sixth for Tampa.
He's one of the most amazing two-way players, too, because, I mean, the guy's hitting over 400. He has power, and he could end up closing this out on the mound. He's their closer.
Valdez, the 9th Spartan to bat this inning. He takes down low. Mike, another guy that has made his way to Tampa by way of the Division I ranks, most recently also the Miami Hurricanes. Takes a big, healthy cut there. He went to Calvary Christian Academy, stopped at a couple of JUCOs along the way. Back in March, he was actually the Division II Baseball National Player of the Week.
9th man to hit in this inning.
Lifts this one way up in the air. This has some carry to it. Garnett pulls up on the track and with one hand makes the catch. The inning is over. But this was the inning that Angelo State dreaded. 4 straight guys brought in runs. Cumbo made it 3-2. Nunez, a sac fly, evened it up. Then Stephen Klein, a 2-run double. And J.P. Gates, a no doubt about it blast to right center. And the number 1 team in the country has a 7-3 lead in the middle of the 6th.
One error and nobody left. The 9th home run for J.P. Gates on.
J.P. Gates has the big moment at the plate and follows it up now by taking the mound in relief of Alex Caney. Tampa the visiting team, so they'll need to play a full 9. I don't know how long Gates would want to go. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't know how long Coach Urso wants Gates to go, but I'm sure JP's going to make him peel the ball out of his hand. He's been good this week in his first couple outings.
Well, he's had a save and 4 2/3 scoreless, 2 hits allowed. On the year, his ERA is 0.51, 17 2/3 innings, 1 run allowed.
Kind of hard to tell from this angle, but he's got a pretty good scar on his elbow from the Tommy John surgery that he had back in 2021. Mentioned that there are some guys on this Tampa team that are certainly older dudes, and JP's one of them. He's 24 years old. This is his final go-through in college baseball. And for someone who once walked off a mound not able to feel anything in his arm and wondering what his future in the game looked like, drops a good breaking ball there on Garnett for strike 3 called. There's one away here in the 7th. I beg your pardon, bottom of the 6th.
He'll come at you with a fastball 90 to 93, and then he'll drop that in there. That's the slider, also a curveball and a changeup. And I guess you could say the floodgates were opened at the top of this inning with the 6 runs.
There you go. Blake Wilhoit had a safety squeeze last time up, brought home a run. He also walked in the 2nd. You know, Tommy John surgery is so normal these days that the assumption is always that, oh, that's going to be fine. It's no big deal. You go get the surgery, you work your way back. It's just become part of the game. But what people don't really appreciate is how hard that rehab process is. The isolation, the loneliness of a lot of times not being around your teammates when you're trying to get back to full health. And it took J.P. Gates 13 months to complete his rehab process. He said it was really difficult on me. He had to relearn basic things, how to grab something. Imagine trying to relearn how to pick up a fork, let alone a baseball.
Right.
And he's worked himself all the way back to a spot where now he is one of the focal points of a team that from the very beginning of the year has been one of the 2 teams to beat. And how appropriate that after 60 games, these 2 teams that were preseason number 1 and 2 in the country, even though they've had really different journeys here, they have made their way to being the last 2 standing.
A lot of pitchers come back throwing harder after Tommy John surgery than they did before. But it is a lot of work, like you said. Yeah, and how about Tampa? I mean, they started the season 17-0. So they certainly made a statement early before they finally lost on March 4th to Seton Hill, the number 11 team in the country. Then they won 11 of their next 12 after that. 5 out of 6 coming into Cary and trying to finish up unbeaten in Cary to go to 4-0 to win the national championship here.
Gates is a native of Brooksville, Florida, as he walks Blake Wilhoit, and now Ryder McDaniel comes up. He was the first player from his high school, Nature Coast Technical, to ever go play Division I college baseball. That's the guy that everybody in the high school is looking at and going, oh man, it's 30 years later, but do you remember J.P. Gates?
Legend, right?
And how cool for him that, it's been a bumpy road, and yet he is shining in the spotlight on a stage like this.
For Angelo State, they play so much small ball, you wonder when they get down by 4 in the 6th inning, how do they play it? I think they still stick to their style, but it's a little tougher to play small ball when you're down 4.
Well, Ryder McDaniel's been seeing the ball great this week, and he rips a single through the left side. So 2 on, 1 out. This is exactly what the Rams needed. You give up 6 runs in an inning, that really doesn't feel too good, but you just keep playing, get a couple base runners right away, put a little pressure on.
With that freshman, he has had a great tournament. 6 hits in 16 at-bats. He's played well at shortstop. Give him a lot of credit. He wasn't even the starting shortstop. He was playing second, but when Harris got hurt, they moved him over to short. He's been a shortstop before, but still.
Tayton Treadaway had a sac fly back in the second, also a ground out and a strikeout. Bottom of the zone, it's a good heater. 0-2. One more cool note about Gates, he loves the idea of giving back to the game. He's been coaching younger players for several years whenever he's not out there competing. Big swing and miss there on an elevated pitch. 2 strikeouts for Gates, and Jacob Guerrero comes up. JP's got a little brother, Jackson, who's 19 years old, that he spends a lot of time with. He said he's been around his tournaments and helping him. He teaches a lot of guys that he feels like he's got a responsibility to give back now that he's having the success he is as a college player. Love that mindset.
Well, he's mindful here of the fact that Guerrero, with one swing, can get Angelo State close. He's got the power, and you don't want to leave something over the middle of the plate. But you also don't want to walk him because on deck, Trip Clark, a first-team All-American, who leads the country in RBIs.
2 balls and no strikes. Guerrero had a solid single to center in the first inning. And he cracked a double right on the screws to left center last time up. 2 for 3. Two and 1.
Got to be patient if you're Guerrero. Get the pitch that you want to hit. He's a solid hitter. Don't worry about the score right here. Don't try to swing for the fences. Especially when you got, a guy like Clark hitting behind you. Just keep the line moving, right?
I think both these teams kind of recognize when you play in a game like this, you're going to have some moments you probably think are going to go well, but you can't expect it just be a breeze. Tampa's adversity came early. How does Angelo State respond here with their backs against the wall? As Guerrero fouls one away. And to your point, if you're a Rams fan right now, you are begging this inning to continue to give Trip Clark an opportunity to drive in runs.
He's got 92 RBIs to lead the nation.
Bounced it in there, and now the count is full.
This is where experience comes in, too, because Guerrero's been here before playing in the championship. Last year when they won it all, hit a home run in that championship game. He's patient up there. He's not nervous.
Wilhoit at second, McDaniel at first. They'll be off with the pitch, which is inside ball 4. Gates slaps his leg with his glove in frustration at misfiring. And now Ram fans are on the edge of their seats. Trip Clark batting with the bases loaded. 2 outs in the 6th, down 4. And the at-bat will wait a moment longer as Sam Militello takes a very slow stroll from from the first base dugout to the mound.
So that's 6 walks in this game for Angelo State. That gives them 29 in the tournament, the most of any team. They've also been hit by a pitch, 19 of those. So that's just a ton of free base runners. Now, out of all those free base runners in this game, just 2 of them have scored, but you got 2 walks in this inning, and the base is loaded. We'll see how long can the Spartans get away with that. And you've got the potential tying run coming to the plate here in Clark. This is quite a dramatic situation in the 6th.
Well, nobody's throwing in that Tampa bullpen, but Jeremy Goins, the junior right-hander from King High School in Tampa, was pacing around down there. We'll see if maybe Goins eventually starts to loosen up. All about this matchup right here. Gates versus Clark. Sees a fastball. I don't think Tripp had any intention of swinging until he saw a strike.
It was right down the middle at 91.
Breaking ball misses the outer half. 1-1.
Tried to go back door there.
Clark has been unbelievable in these situations this year. His batting average with the bases loaded on the season, .833. He is also a .500 hitter with 2 outs in an inning. 2-1 to Clark is popped up. Fighting the sun, Woodburn calls everybody off and makes the catch. The Rams with a golden opportunity that slips through their fingertips. Gates gets out of a pickle in the 6th. And Tampa goes to the 7th with a 7-3 lead in search of a 9th national championship.
Alongside Brendan Gulick, I'm Joe Castellano as we go to the 7th inning here at the Division II Baseball Championship. Championship Saturday. If Tampa wins, they are the national champs. Angelo State coming into the day needing 2 wins. And right now, Tampa leading 7-3, going to the 7th. And really, Brendan, the big key has been that Tampa, with that big 6-run six, they came through in the clutch. They had some hits with runners in scoring position. While Angelo State, they're 0 for 9 with men in scoring position. They've left 9 on base in the first 6.
It's a weird thing. When you play in a game that has that much meaning, you find yourself looking back on all of the little things that you end up magnifying over time. There's lots of spots where both of these teams feel like maybe if we would have just done this, or maybe if that would have gone our way, the script could have flipped. There's still time if you're Angelo State. And yes, certainly the 6th inning is one that will loom large, but both teams probably feel like they wish they had some things back.
Woodburn leading off here gets ahead 2-0, and he started the rally in the 6th with a double off the wall in left field. He's also walked and flied to center, 1 for 2, 3 for 11 in the tournament. Facing Johnny Stacy, who came in the 6th inning. Pops it up foul on the first base side. Treadaway trying to block the sun, makes the grab. 1 away. That's a tough sun right now, and he had to deal with the fact that he was getting near the railing. 1 away.
We've seen a couple of plays like that over the course of the week where the first basemen have made really tough catches in foul ground. There is obviously a lot of room in foul territory here. So we have time called at home plate. I think that's because the umpire needed a chance to adjust something in his mask.
Ryan
Anyways,
Carl.
it's not just a big ballpark out, right? The gaps are 391, but there's a lot of room playable in foul ground.
Yeah, pitcher's park all the way. Here's Saladino, the shortstop for Tampa, batting in the 8-hole. And he takes a curveball from Stacy inside. 1-0. He has reached twice on a single and reached on an error, the only error that Angelo State has made in this tournament. It was by the first baseman Treadaway. It's 1 for 3 in this game, 4 for 13 in the tournament. Played solid at shortstop, takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Tampa 7 runs, 8 hits, and an error. 6 of their 7 runs coming in the last inning. That's fouled straight back to the screen. 1-2 the count. 3 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for Angelo State. Schertz lasted 5+ innings, gave up 5 runs, 4 earned. The 1-2 bounced weakly on the third base side, rolling foul. Remains 1-2 to Saladino.
Tampa's 6th run, 6th inning is definitely going to erase some frustration from that first when they left runners at 2nd and 3rd. They also stranded runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 3rd inning. Had runners left on base in the 2nd, 4th, and 5th before finally breaking through with a big inning.
1-2 to Saladino, the pitch. Whacked over first, diving, stopped by Treadaway. He goes to the bag and he beats Saladino. What a play by Tayton Treadaway. Unbelievable stop.
Well, Tayton read it off the crack of the bat nicely. You basically play a step and a dive off the line. Great hand-eye coordination, and by the way, knowing how fast Saladino is, he knew the only shot was to take it himself. Good effort.
Called strike to Griffith. He's 0 for 3 today. Wow, what a play by Treadaway. You know, I talked about how I saw his dad, Chad Treadaway, play in the minor leagues. He was in the Padres system. He was also with the Cubs organization. There's a fly ball down the right field line, deep hooking all the way off the bat of Griffith, and it is foul out of play. But Chad was a third baseman who made a lot of plays like that over at third, and he taught his son well.
I'm sure some of that is work ethic, and some of that's a little DNA, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You like having the right genetics, too.
2 down, nobody on. Griffith takes in the dirt, and it's 1-2. Griffith, 6 hits in 13 at-bats here in Cary. The left fielder for Tampa, batting in the 9-hole. Cumbo on deck. Pitch from Stacy is hit in the air left field. Guerrero coming over towards the line. And that does it for the Spartans in the 7th. They go down 1-2-3. Their first 3-up, 3-down inning of the day. 7th inning stretch here on Championship Saturday. 7-3, Tampa leading Angelo State. Well, Tampa Spartans fans, they're used to seeing a lot of runs getting scored by their team. They averaged over 10 runs game during the year. And in this tournament, 9, 7, 7, and now 7 again in their 4 games here.
Obviously, there's a lot of Tampa fans here, and certainly a bunch of folks from San Angelo, Texas as well. But I just want to acknowledge the fact that this is such a cool place for baseball in the country.
Oh, it is. As Sands flies one to center. Handled by Cumbo out there, 1 away.
Last night, obviously we had 1 game yesterday afternoon, so after watching 13 games in the tournament, what do you think I did? I went over to Chapel Hill and went to go watch a Super Regional between North Carolina and West Virginia, and it's just cool because people in this part of the country, man, they just love ball. Obviously at the Division I level, Duke has won the ACC tournament and had a good run this year. It's cool to see that there are not just fans of these 2 schools here, but there are some local folks that just want to come out and watch good baseball.
It's great atmosphere. Velocic ahead 1-0. By the way, it was not Cumbo who made that catch. That was Maddox King, who has come on defensively to play center field. Cumbo moving from center to right, and Valdez leaves the game. So put King in the number 6 spot in the order. There's a strike, replacing Valdez for Tampa. They've done that throughout the tournament during the season. Defensive replacement out there in center, King. Velocic now with a count of 1-2. The pitch from Gates, swinging a foul back. It remains 1-2. Kelton is on deck to follow Velocic, who is 0 for 3. He's grounded to third twice, and he is also grounded to second. Gates works out of the stretch even though nobody's on. It's fouled back. Remains 1-2 to Velocic. I want to thank our crew. They've just done a fantastic job here all week long. Nick Young was here earlier as our director. And then he handed it over to the bullpen. The 1-2, ground ball, shortstop, Saladino to his left fields, and throws out Velasic, 2 down. Nick Case stepped in for Nick Young. We've got Bradley Spiron, our producer, director. We got Ryan Kroom, our replay operator, who's done a fantastic job. And then our camera folks, Galen Slattery, Bobby Welch, Colby Dunaway, and Mason Hewitt. They've all been phenomenal and working in the heat, long hours. Thank you very much.
I think they've gone through a couple bottles of sunscreen this week. It has been a sunny, hot week here in Cary, which we are simultaneously grateful for. We haven't had a single rain delay all week.
You are the good luck charm.
I guess.
I've never seen that since I've been coming here.
Well, I feel confident saying that because there's not even a hint of a cloud in the sky. But, yeah, it's been a great week. Appreciate everybody's work.
Kelton bounces one to short. Easy hop for Saladino. 1-2-3 inning for Gates. We head to the 8th. Tampa 7, Angelo State 3. Eighth inning we go, 7-3 Tampa leading Angelo State. The Spartans, if they win this game, they will win the national championship. Angelo State has to come back and win this one and then win another one to get it done. Top of the order coming up here for the Spartans against Johnny Stacy. I want to thank everybody from Mount Olive as those folks put on a great show here. Jeff Eisen running things. Alex King as well. They've helped us throughout the week.
Yeah, gracious hosts, University of Mount Olive and the City of Cary. Certainly the folks with USA Baseball. Been a great week.
Cumbo shows bunt but takes it outside for a ball, 1-0. Cumbo 1 for 4, RBI single. He's had a great tournament. 9 hits in his 19 at-bats, and that last hit was his 400th of his career, as we talked about. Takes a called strike, and it's 1-1. What a career, trying to cap it off with his first national championship.
Took him a little while to get that one. 5 straight hitless at-bats before he finally got that single to right field.
Skies one down the right field line. Garnett, long run coming over, but he's got it for out number 1. Well, it took him a long time to get to this point to try to win a title. It's his 7th season. He had a red shirt. He had a COVID waiver. He played at New York Tech in the NCAA Division II baseball championship. And now with Tampa and finally getting this chance as Nunez climbs in. Anthony Nunez, a couple of hits today, a single and a double, also the sac fly. It's part of that 6-run 6th. And he has walked. And he takes a ball from Stacy, 1-0. Shirt started, and he was pitching really well until he got to the 6th inning, and 5 runs go on his record, 4 earned in 5 innings. Called strike on the inside part of the plate, 1-1. Temperature in the mid-80s today. Lots of sunshine all around. No clouds over us. It's fouled back. 1-2 to Nunez. Will be followed by Klein. Tampa making its 20th trip to the D2 championship. They've been able to win 8 times. Can they do it again?
I'll tell you what, I still like Angelo State's body language. I think they realize that you got a little bit of a mountain to climb here, but it's not insurmountable.
1-2 to Nunez, popped up in the air. Third base side, foul territory for Kelton. 2 away.
Obviously, you got to take care of business defensively, and then you got 6 outs left to play with. Certainly still got a shot, but I don't see too many guys hanging their heads right now.
Well, you think about it, the bottom of the order for them has been great the whole tournament, and that's what they have coming up in the bottom of the 8th. And then you got the top of the order with some great hitters, so you can't count them out as Klein takes a strike 0-1.
I will say, though, it's fair to acknowledge in the bottom of the 6th, I mean, you really felt like the wind came out of their sails a little bit when Clark popped out to end the inning with the bases loaded. That one hurt.
Fouled back, Klein behind 0-2.
It wasn't a bad at bat. Actually thought he picked a pretty good pitch to put in play, but sometimes goes your way and sometimes it doesn't.
No balls, 2 strikes to Klein. Here's the pitch. High and away, 1-2. How many teams have enough depth that they can have a pitcher who is 16-0 in Skylar Gonzalez waiting in the wings to pitch a game 2 if possible?
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
1-2 to Klein. Foul back to the screen. It remains 1-2.
And look, you have a season like that, and I think everybody would probably acknowledge that some of that is Skylar's really, really good.
Yeah.
And some of that is he gets to pitch on a team where this offense does this, right? And so it takes a lot of pressure off you. I mean, this Tampa team top to bottom, man, it's not about 1 or 2 guys.
Klein hits one in the hole at second into right field. That's a base hit. 9th hit for the Spartans. 2nd hit for Klein today, and that'll bring up J.P. Gates.
Well, Klein last time up came up with the big double down into the right field corner that ultimately gave Tampa the lead before Gates homered. He comes up with a solid single there.
Gates and Cumbo each have 3 home runs in this tournament. He lines one in the left center field. That's a base hit. Klein around second, digging for third. Throw comes in from Guerrero. And the runners will be at the corners with 2 down. That is the 3rd hit for Gates. It's a triple shy of the cycle.
This kid's just a pure hitter. That's not a strike. That's below the zone. But he drops the bat head on top of it. Knocks it out there, keeps the inning going.
Here's Garavito, 2 on, 2 out, trying to add to the 4-run lead. And he takes a strike as he checked his swing. It's 0-1. Garavito 0 for 4. He is K'd twice, flied out to right and grounded to third. Tampa catcher standing in the back of the box, crowding the plate a little bit. Stacy deals, and it's fouled back out of play, 0-2.
By the way, Anthony Nunez is warming up on the mound in the bullpen, the third baseman who's got a really live arm, but we have not seen pitch this week. Looks like if he's warming up at this point, there's no reason for him to be doing that unless he's going to come in. Who knows when, though.
That's fouled back to the screen. Remains 0-2 to Garavito.
He's a guy that we were told can hit 98 on a gun when they put him from third to first. And he obviously didn't work out professionally as a hitter, but they think maybe there's a different way to get him back into minor league ball.
1-2 now to Garavito. Well, he's pitched 11 2/3 innings and has an ERA of 3.09, so he's pitched pretty well when he's been in there.
Yeah, but you don't not put his bat in the lineup. I mean, he's obviously a great hitter.
Oh, man.
So we'll see if he comes on at some point here.
Well, he's helped the offense today. 1-2 pitch. Pop back out of play again. Got Klein at third, Gates at first with 2 down. Getting those 2 base hits with 2 outs. So early on, there were some opportunities and Tampa did not capitalize, and then they did. That big 6-run 6th inning. 1-2 to Garavito. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Stacy gets him on strikes. And that retires the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. Tampa's left 10, but as we go to the bottom of the 8th, they lead Angelo State 7-3. Alongside Brendan Gulick, I'm Joe Castellano. Delighted to have you with us throughout the week and all the way into Championship Saturday. And Tampa, 6 outs away from a national championship. J.P. Gates is out there again. His first 2 innings of relief have been scoreless. He has had a couple of walks, but he struck out a couple, and he's retired the last 4. Going into this frame, he'll face the bottom third of the order for Angelo State.
Well, a little ways to go, and obviously Tampa knows that sometimes those final outs can be the hardest ones to get, but I think it's at least worth pointing out here at this point that it has certainly been a memorable year at the University of Tampa. Their women's lacrosse team just won the national championship pretty decisively about 2 weeks ago down in Orlando, and their men's swimming and diving team won the national championship back in March. They're the National Swimmer of the Year, National Coach of the Year in Santiago Corredor and Coach Kiner. Obviously, this has been a banner year for Spartan baseball.
Garnett skies one to center field. King breaking back and now backpedaling. One pitch, one away for Gates.
You know, and just the things you've accomplished this year. If you're a Tampa baseball coach, Urso wins his 1,000th career game. One of the all-time winningest coaches in Division II baseball history, and he is currently the active winningest coach. And trying to cap it off with a national title.
What a career. And Will Height taking a ball 1-0. You think about it, Joe Urso played on Tampa's first title team back in '92, then had a pro career. Comes back to be the head coach now in his 24th season. And when he got to 1,000 wins, it was actually a big win for Tampa, and he didn't know how he would react to it. Most coaches say, you know, I don't want to have it be about me, but he ended up putting on sunglasses even though it was evening because some tears started to well up in his eyes thinking about all the players that had supported him over the years and how great they were. It was very emotional, and if he could win number 9 here for the school, that would be super emotional to tie the record that Florida Southern has for most D2 championships. Wilhoit chops it to short. Saladino has to hurry, and he got him. 2 down. That'll bring up McDaniel. He is 1 for 2, a single, a sac bunt. He's had a great tournament for the freshman. 6 hits and 16 at bats. 7 runs driven in. Played solid at short. Facing Gates. Skies one foul in right field, and nobody's going to get to that one. Certainly has a great future, McDaniel does, as an infielder for the Rams.
Hey, 1 pitch at a time, Mr. Poop, 1 pitch at a time. Execute, here we go.
So tough to get this close to a title if you don't win it on the Saturday that you get there. It can be frustrating. Line drive, center field, base hit. Rams are not done yet. McDaniel, his second straight hit against Gates. He's 2 for 2 against him. And now the top of the order in Treadaway.
This Angelo State team has been a boatload of fun to watch this week, and there's a lot of guys that have been good, but I don't know who's playing better baseball on that squad than Ryder McDaniel. I mean, that kid is playing out of his mind. I know he's had a couple of little mistakes this week, but his high moments have been so much more regular and so much more memorable than the low ones. So we get a pinch hitter here. Just a really cool tournament for a guy that should be part of Angelo State's program for a while.
Well, Treadaway in his first at-bat against Gates struck out. So it didn't go well there, lefty against lefty. So now Coach Brooks is going to go to his bench and go to Rance Rosas, the redshirt sophomore from San Angelo, Texas, and see if he can find lightning in a bottle with Rosas. Rosas, 240 average this year, no homers and 2 RBIs. 28th game, first time that we see him here, and he swings and misses 0-1. So with 2 down, Rosas trying to keep it alive with Guerrero on deck and Clark waiting in the wings. That's outside 1-1.
I mean, Gates has just been so good this year. He's given up 1 earned run in 20 1/3 innings with 23 strikeouts and only 6 walks, of which 2 came in the 6th inning today.
1 ball, 1 strike to Rosas. The pitch popped up foul. First base side, it'll go out of play. 1-2. What doesn't Gates do? Does he drive the bus too? He does everything.
Well, they're about 670 miles from Tampa. I know they flew here and didn't bus here. I don't know if he's a pilot. Maybe he's got aspirations.
Might be. Whatever he does well.
Good for him.
Runner at first, 2 down. 1-2 to Rosas with the runner going. No throw to second. That's a ball, 2-2.
I think part of the reason he didn't throw, Garavito was a little surprised that wasn't a called 3rd strike.
Yeah. So McDaniel in scoring position with 2 down. Gates ready. The 2-2 pitch to Rosas. Outside, 3-2.
It's one of the hardest things to do as a catcher. You don't want to come up out of your crouch too early because you might cut off the umpire's vantage point on a low pitch. But you're also trying to make sure that you don't get caught flat-footed when you're trying to throw a runner out.
Gates ready again. The payoff pitch to Rosas, popped up foul behind the plate, out of play. Runner was going. McDaniel was taken off for third. I mean, if they're going to give it to him, he's saying, I might as well just do it. Rosas doing everything he can as a pinch hitter here to try to get on as they try to come back from down 4 runs. 3-2 on the way. Strike 3 call. Inning over. On the 3rd strikeout by Gates, he leaves a runner at second. Looks calm, cool, and collected. He froze Rosas at the end of 8. Tampa 7, Angelo State 3. Well, that's what they're playing for here in Tampa, 3 outs away from the national championship. For Angelo State, it's a tall order today. They're going to have to come back from down 4 and then win a second game. So the Spartans in the driver's seat. And now batting for the first time in this game is Maddox King. He came in to play center field, hitting .276 on the year. No home runs, 18 RBIs for King. He takes the ball 1-0. He faces Johnny Stacy, who came in relief in the 6th inning. New first baseman in the game, Cannon Brooks for Angelo State. Fouled back out of play. Brooks came in after the pinch hitting move of Rosas in the last half inning. So he's over at first.
Here's Cannon. Also, Nunez has resumed throwing in that Tampa bullpen. I don't know if that means Gates is coming out or if that's sort of a just-in-case kind of thing. I have to admit, Joe, I was laughing to myself when Gates was walking off the field last half inning. I mean, he was all stoic and serious going to the dugout. I almost didn't know if he was capable of that. I mean, he's been a bull in a china shop all week. He's been nuts and fun and lively.
Deep fly ball down the left field line. If it stays fair, it will be gone. Fair ball, home run, Maddox King. 8-3 Tampa. The defensive replacement does it with the bat.
Oh, you think he's having any fun? King wasn't sure if it would stay inside the foul pole or not, so he stood and he watched it. He wasn't trying to show up the other team. He just wanted to know if he hit a home run in a national championship game. So he stands there and watches one, and it eventually clears the fence out in left field.
The first career home run for the freshman. How about that? As Woodburn takes a strike 0-1.
Guy who's been brought on as a defensive replacement throughout the course of the week. Thumps one over the fence.
It's a teenager, a freshman, and hits a home run that just stayed fair, by the way. So now a 5-run lead as Woodburn has an 0-2 count, takes inside 1-2. Wow. Well, you had the Gates home run earlier. Now you have this home run, so 2 home runs in the game. Bouncing ball hit the third base for Kelton. Backhands it. 1 away.
Maddox King out of Tampa Catholic High School in Tampa. Was the defensive player of the year at his high school. His dad was part of the 1998 national championship team. Dad is Mike. Played here at Tampa, so a second-generation Spartan. That's a pretty darn cool moment there for Maddox and for his family.
Here's Nico Saladino. Swings it, fouls it back, 0-1. So it's now 8 home runs for Tampa in this tournament. Guess how many they've given up? 0. You win that battle, that helps along the way.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the week, we kind of expected that things would be more normal here in Cary, where it's just not a ballpark that surrenders a lot of long balls. But when you out-homer your opponent 8-0, yeah, that's a huge difference.
Foul back. It remains 0-2 to Saladino. So Tampa trying to do what Angelo State did last year, go 4-0 here to win the national championship. And Coach Urso stressed those first 2 games, so important, so that you're not in the loser's bracket. And they took care of business. I mean, they beat UIndy 9-3. They beat Southern New Hampshire 7-4. That was a game where Gates had a home run and a save. And then they beat Catawba 7-2, and that was the game where Cumbo had a couple of home runs.
Look, both these teams started the week 2-0, right? So their pitching staffs were, quote-unquote, set up the right way.
Fly ball left field for Guerrero, 2 down. And, you would think that Angelo State had an advantage because they would get 2 days off, which they did, in their side of the bracket. But as it turned out, they ended up losing a game and then had to battle.
Yeah, IUP played pretty well this week, and they're just not guaranteed anything. And even at that, they almost beat IUP.
Yeah, it almost came back.
In that white knuckler of the 9th inning of the game they lost.
Right.
If anybody at home missed that, I mean, it was 10-7 into the 8th, and after 2 outs, walk, hit batter, walk, brought in a run, and then on a 3-1 count, a pop-out ended the inning in foul ground.
Yeah, I'm sure that Steve Klein, the head coach at IUP, was not nervous at all about that.
Yeah.
But he was
fingernails left.
He was delightful to deal with here. I'll tell you what. Steve Klein, the former Major League pitcher, did a great job with IUP. Griffith at the plate hits one on a bounce to first, handled by Brooks, and the inning is over. But a home run by Maddox King, his first career home run for the freshman. Last chance coming up for Angelo State. 2, 3, and 4 in the order coming up. Tampa 3 outs away from a national championship. New catcher in the game for Tampa, Danny Gutcher, is now your backstop for J.P. Gates, looking for 3 outs to win the national championship. Here is Jacob Guerrero for Angelo State, trailing 8-3. Skies one in the right center field. King comes over, and he's got it for the first out on 1 pitch. That'll bring up Trip Clark.
I actually kind of like Guerrero going up there pretty aggressive because he's seen the ball so well, and sometimes against a guy who's, got a lot riding on this inning, you might get a really good first pitch fastball. He drove it okay. Ended up getting caught.
Here's Trip Clark. He takes a strike, 0-1. Trip Clark, the All-American, 1 for 4 today, a single. Leading the country in RBIs with 92. He's had such a great career, and he takes outside 1-1. Clark, the senior from Waco, Texas. He's done everything for this team. The catcher, leader of the team. Fouls it back, and it's 1-2. He was up there in the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Popped out. That was a key out in this game for Gates. Came on in relief of Caney. The 1-2. Hit in the air. Hit well into right center field. Cumbo going back, though, at the warning track, and he hauls it in. 2 down. Clark gave it a ride, but it stayed in the ballpark, and now Conaher Sands is the final hope as the Tampa fans stand and cheer.
Boy, I thought that ball really jumped off Clark's bat. Tagged it great. Cumbo ran it down.
Called strike to Sands, 0-1. He's 0 for 2, 2 walks. Tampa 8, Angelo State 3, bottom of the 9th. 2 down, nobody on. High fly ball, foul territory in right. Klein coming over. Here comes the right fielder, Cumbo, and can't get there. Woodburn also. Lots of Tampa traffic, but nobody could catch it, and it's 0-2.
Boy, that was a long way for those guys to run. Tough play. You imagine that catch to end the game? That would have been nuts.
That was quite a cluster over there of Tampa players that couldn't get to it in foul territory. 8 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for Tampa. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Angelo State. 0-2 to Sands. Here's the pitch. Down low, 1-2. The defending champs, Angelo State, 1 strike away from failing to defend their title. The 1-2. Hit hard to short. Saladino comes up throwing. Got him! Tampa wins the national championship for the 9th time. An 8-3 victory over Angelo State. The Spartans tie the record for most championships in D2. They're tied with Florida Southern. 9 titles, 6th for Joe Urso. Gets congratulations from Kevin Brooks. What a D2 championship for Tampa as they run through it 4-0.
What a team. From the very beginning of the year, Tampa looked like the kind of team that could get it done. You need good fortune. You need good health. You need guys to buy in. And this group that, again, has so many players that are playing at the end of their college careers. They've accomplished so much individually, but we're missing that one piece that they all wanted more than anything else. They wanted to be called national champions. And after they completely walloped the first 3 teams they played this season, great teams down in Houston, the country took notice that Tampa was going to be the team to beat. They were never ranked lower than 2nd all year long in a national poll. And they came to Cary and put on a heck of a display. Power, pitching, defense, undisputed this year, no matter what. They were obviously the best team here by the end of the week. And for the 9th time in program history, Tampa's a national champion.
Amazing run. I mean, they started the season 17-0. They had to battle through a little bit of adversity here and there. In fact, they had to go 3 games in their super regional against Embry-Riddle. They lost the first game 15-9, but then they came back and won 2, got here, and then just ran through this tournament, beating UIndy, Southern New Hampshire, Catawba, and now Angelo State. And the Rams, they also had a great year, but they come up short as they tried to win back-to-back.
What a game, and what a tournament for J.P. Gates, for E.J. Cumbo, Alex Caney, the winning pitcher.
Yeah. They had it all.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Skylar Gonzalez breaks a school record as Caney takes the trophy over to the team. Skylar Gonzalez breaks the program single-season wins record as he wins National Pitcher of the Year. This is, without a question, the team that has been the barometer for Division II baseball nationally over the last 2+ decades. I'd argue that E.J. Cumbo looks as much like a National Player of the Year as anybody that was out there anywhere this year. I mean, this team had all the components, but you still have to go out and earn it. And, Joe, the beginning of this game, I really thought Tampa played a little tight. There were some moments that were a little nervy, a couple of ground balls that weren't handled super clean, but they settled down, and then, boy, once they broke it open, things looked a little bit more like Tampa baseball for them. And obviously a big 6-run 6th inning is what they'll always remember. J.P. Gates, probably the player of the game between what he did in 4 innings of relief work plus the 2-run homer. Klein was the one that broke the game open with the 2-run double. Cumbo picked up his 400th career hit today. Yeah. First D2 player to ever hit 400 in a season. Only the 3rd baseball player in college baseball history. Joe Urso wins 1,000 games this year. I mean, what a milestone, remarkable year for this program, and it caps off the only way that feels fitting.
Yeah, I mean, they were not really able to get much going against Schertz. At least they didn't have the clutch hits, and they were trailing this game, Tampa was, 3-1 going to the 6th. But then, as you said, that 6-run 6th inning was the difference. And Alex Caney able to improve to 14-3 to finish up as the number 2 pitcher in the nation as far as wins behind his teammate Gonzalez. Kjertz took the loss, and Gates gets to save his 4th. And now it's just celebration time for the players, the coaching staff, and the fans, and they are really fired up to win that trophy. That is jubilation that will stay with you really the rest of your life.
It's hard not to get emotional when you think about what these guys go through, all the training, all the sacrifices that families make, the resources poured into early mornings, long weekends, long trips, all the tournaments you play in well before you even put on a college uniform. It doesn't just start this week when you get in Cary. This is years and years in the making for some of these families and for some of these guys. And for those who won't play professionally in this group, this is the pinnacle of their athletic achievements in their life. And certainly having the fun that you'd expect. I think J.P. Gates has found himself a victory cigar. That is the least surprising thing I've seen all week. Good for him. And Tampa is a worthy champion for sure. And by the way, the Rams were awesome this week. And they ran into a buzzsaw, right? I mean, the team that ultimately, as they dumped the Gatorade on Joe Urso, the only team that knocked them out over the course of 2 years was this Tampa team. Baseball is pretty good down in San Angelo, Texas, and they had a great season.
Yeah, they did. Well, great job by our entire crew, as we were talking about. Everybody from the camera folks and everybody in the production room, here in the press box. And, Brendan, you did a fabulous job here in your first year in Cary.
A lot of fun to work with.
Great working with you. Congratulations to the Tampa Spartans. They win their 9th national championship. For Brendan Gulick and our entire crew, I'm Joe Castellano. We're saying so long from Cary, North Carolina. Stay with us for the trophy presentation here at the D2 Baseball Championship.
Presenting the awards is John Phillips, chair of the NCAA D2 Baseball Committee. And now we present the 2024 NCAA Division II Baseball All-Tournament team. Please come forward as your name is called. At catcher from Angelo State, Trip Clark. At first base from Tampa, Stephen Klein. At second base from IUP, Harrison Pontoli. At third base from Angelo State, Camden Kelvin. At shortstop from Chicago, Levi Burrell. Outfielder from Tampa, E.J. Cumbo. Outfielder from Chicago, Sam Hunter. Outfielder from Angelo State, Christian Garnett. Designated hitter from Tampa, J.P. Gates. Pitcher from IUP, Jake Black. Pitcher from Tampa, Alex Caney. And the tournament's most valuable player, J.P. Gates. NCAA Division II Baseball Championship, finishing with a record of 44-21, the Angelo State University Rams. Will the following individuals please come forward to be recognized? Number 2, Ryder McDaniel. Number 3, Blake Wilhoit. Number 4, Austin Beck. Number 5, Jude Cook. Number 6, Lance Rosas. Number 7, Caleb Pierce. Number 8, Jacob Guerrero. Number 9, Steph Foster. Number 10, David Dressendorfer. Number 11, Colby Casey. Number 12, Conager Sands. Number 14, Cannon Brooks. Number 16, Camden Shelton. Number 17, Hunter Holt. Number 18, Kate Treadaway. Number 20, Jack Stokely. Number 21, Clayton Roeder. Number 22, Alize Gutierrez. Number 24, Scott Ellis. Number 26, Johnny Stacy. Number 27, Austin Keel. Number 28, Jackson Weatherly. Number 31, Braxton Pearson. Number 32, Trip Clark. Number 34, Eric Martinez. Number 35, Weston Velasic. Number 37, Jackson Berry. Number 41, Justin Harris. Number 42, Christian Barnett. And number 44, Mason Bryant. The assistant coaches for Angelo State, Emma Foster, Sam Hope, and Jonathan Del Rosario, and the head coach for the Rams, Kevin Brooks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Angelo State Rams. And now the 2024 NCAA Division II Baseball National Champions, University of Tampa Spartans. Will the following individuals please come forward to be recognized? Number 0, Stephen Klein. Number 2, Clayton Whitburn. Number 4, Ray Mercer. Number 5, Drew Howard. Number 6, Parker Schlichty. Number 9, Anthony Nunez. Number 10, Nico Saladino. Number 12, Alex Haney. Number 13, Jake Stipp. Number 14, Santiago Garavito. Number 15, Michael Alfonso. Number 16, McAllister Jorgensen. Number 17, Andrew Carson. Number 18, Jack Brodsky. Number 19, E.J. Cumbo. Number 20, Eli Thurman. Number 21, Beckett White. Number 26, Jacob Griffith. Number 27, Danny Dutcher. Number 28, Matthew Fogel. Number 29, Drew Kennedy. Number 30, T.J. Palma. Number 31, Skylar Gonzalez. Number 32, J.P. Gates. Number 33, Jeremy Goins. Number 35, Ryan Stefute. Number 36, Carson Tasso. Number 37, Ashton Vogel. Number 40, Aiden Nolasco. Number 41, Maddox King. Number 42, Mike Valdez. And number 43, Stephen Rojas. The assistant coaches for Tampa, Sam Militello, Jose Jimenez, Christopher Rosenbaum, Daniel Mercado, and Scott McNulty. And the head coach for the University of Tampa, Joe Urso. We now ask Tampa to come forward to complete the tournament bracket.
You guys can kneel for Rogan kneel. Everybody back like 4 more
again, congratulations to the Tampa Spartans, your 2024 NCAA Division II Baseball National Champions. On behalf of the NCAA, the University of Mount Olive in Cary, North Carolina, we thank you for your attendance at the 2024 NCAA Division II Baseball Championship. The University of Mount Olive in Cary will host next year's NCAA Division II Baseball Championship right here in Cary at the USA Baseball National Training Complex, May 30th through June 7th, 2025. Have a safe trip home. We'll see you back here in Cary next year.